That means live. That means mics are hot. Like when you're backstage and you forget that you're mic'd up and you start carrying on a conversation with one of the staff. And then they go,
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Voice
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California. We're live here at Mad Productions Studios, the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. Today's guest is Missing in Action.
MIA.
But you know what?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties. But you know what? He could call, and now it's Max Payne Griffin. We're still waiting for his phone call. So
that was the one.
He may be on the mat,
and that's
tapping somebody out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
getting
just
his hands unwrapped or
breakdown.
something.
Nah, I love
Either
the guy.
way, the fighter. Oh yeah, I can't wait to have him because
Like,
when he was
I
on
picked
here,
him every single time to win his fights.
Well, so did I. Even when he won the belt. And I interviewed him the first time he won the belt. It was a great interview.
Right.
But Mark Davis lost it. So I'll put him on blast.
That's rough.
Put him on blast. And you know who? He kind of looks like Al B. Shore, the singer. And I was going to have KP pull that picture up. We should bring it up anyways.
Get the
He looks like
graphics out
Al.
there.
Seriously, if you find Al B. Shore, pull him up and we'll put Max Payne Griffin. I don't want him kicking my butt either, man.
Nah, dude's a cool cat.
No, he is a cool cat. And you know what? He called it. He called his own destiny. He said, you know what? I will be in the UFC. I'm ready.
Yeah, no, he's definitely
At the time when he was at Tachi.
Yeah, he's definitely shown, like I said, dude, that's why I'm so confused why the Palace isn't going to be holding fights anymore. That place has been like literally like a proving ground.
Landmark.
Yeah, yeah. For as far as MMA
Yeah.
goes, you could list Tachi as MMA landmark. You easily could. Just because so many great fights have happened there.
You know, they shouldn't just wrap it up right now. They should just get it together and do something.
I mean, okay, so when
The Fighter's Voice Promotions presents live at Tachi Palace, and we're back.
Yeah.
Boom.
Man, well, let me ask Rich what kind of the budget was first.
Richard to go, okay, we'll have some street fights.
Yeah, right? I don't want to
Yeah.
get myself attached to some tiny budget and being like,
Well, I had
dude.
LeVar Johnson, who's going to be our guest next Wednesday.
Yeah.
He used to do some promoting.
He did. He
Yes,
did
he-
do some
yes,
heavy
yeah,
promoting.
yes,
and he
yes, he
promoted
did.
himself right into a title fight with that win, too.
Absolutely.
That all we know is it's January.
January.
I mean,
well, I know, but we
know.
can't say.
Yeah, like we know we already know things because we know people.
Yeah, we know people that know people that know people
But
that
we know
tap
that.
out people.
But we know soon we'll be able to tell everybody,
Absolutely.
and that's going to be awesome. I'm just
can't wait.
stoked. It's January next
can't
year.
wait.
We know LeVar's getting a title shot.
And it's going to be at exactly.
Like yeah, like we already know. You'll
Yeah.
find out. Don't worry, guys. You'll find out. But I do like being in that know. It does
Yeah,
make it a lot
exactly.
funner knowing that we know
Well,
more.
it shows trust and respect. Like
Yeah.
the Flores family, Team Flores, they dropped some knowledge on me. They said, Rich, I can let you know this, and this off camera. It just can't be discussed yet. And yeah, man, I'm excited about that too.
Right?
Which
And
was
that's
a
always
great
fun.
show last night. That show was fire. We got
Yeah?
some great reviews on that.
I saw there was a lot of chatter, a lot of shares and views.
And you know what? It was energetic from start to finish. Gabriel Flores, Jr. and Senior. I mean, they're great guests. They're great people. And they are who they say they are at the end of the day.
Yeah, I got to meet him for all of like 30 seconds. But I mean, and I don't want to call him a kid, but he seems like a smart kid, seemed real polite,
Very
real
smart.
respectful.
Very ahead of his years.
yeah,
as
and
far
then
as
that was,
maturity.
Yeah, and then was that dad and the uncle?
That was Dad, and that was a partner that helps with the team. He's
Okay.
there with media, and you know he's
And they
part of the
they
family.
both seem to be very, like even just the fact of hey, let's talk before we talk.
Yeah.
Real professional.
Yeah.
Let's not have anything come out of left field. Let's make
No.
sure we all are on the same page of what we want to
Exactly.
talk about. Yeah, no,
Exactly.
that's right to the cut because this isn't their
Yeah.
first rodeo.
No.
And they know that this is a opportunity to get exposure. We need to use the most of it, and we need to have a plan. And I love that. I only met him for like 30 seconds.
And here's the thing, you know the way father and son's relationships work as far as dad's trainer. This one works great.
Yeah,
it
we've
really
seen a
does.
couple.
It really does. I mean, Danny Garcia and his father, Felix Trinidad and his father. This team Flores works great with each other.
Yeah, no, it's you can tell by the way he's been brought through.
Yeah.
Kind of like looking like not too much too fast.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure you do what you should be capable of overcoming. We're not going to it wasn't like throw you in the pool and go swim.
He's taking care of every man they put in front of him thus far.
Yeah.
And he's only a kid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's a kid. Wait till
he
he gets in that, and I keep saying, wait till he gets into that man strength,
Oh, dude, right?
and it's over.
Because right now he's just sharpening the technique tools.
One day
he's literally
one
sharpening
day he's
them.
just gonna wake up and says, "Dad, I'm a full-fledged man.
I don't
Bring
even
it
think he's
on.
going to wake up one day. I think he's going to be in like a fight one day, and he's just going to. He's just going to hit dude, and
Yeah.
dude's just going to drop, and it's going to be in like sparring or something.
Exactly.
Just one day, he's just going to boom.
He's just going to walk a little different that day.
right.
He is.
That's what happens when your balls drop.
Just boom.
Right
Along
down,
with
dude.
that opponent. Just boom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like something's going to happen in sparring. And they're going to be like, dude, hold on. Like, where'd that come from? And he's going to go, what do you mean?
It was a special interview because I believed everything he said. You know, when a lot says, hey, we're going to do this, you know, like when you buy that new car, oh, I'm going
Yeah.
to put rims on here, I'm going to get a radio, and I'm going to lower it, I'm going to put...
And then it never happens?
Every single thing that man says happens.
Yeah.
You got to remember, 2 years ago, I was having lunch with him, and we're looking outside Stockton, the auditorium, and he said, Rich, that thing's going to be packed completely. Junior's going to come in with a 64. It's going to be packed, sold out. And he's telling me this, he's envisioning it. He sees it as he's telling me. Sure enough, that thing was exactly what he said
Yeah.
it was going to be.
Got to have a vision first.
Oh, he does. He does. And they'll be taking care of business this Saturday, Fresno, California, on the undercard of Jamal Herring. And it's going to be a great fight. ESPN, there you are right there. Gabriel Flores, man. I mean, if you look, even on TV, they're flashing his his commercial and his billboard.
Well, yeah, you've got to market to get him out there. You have to market correctly, and they see the opportunity. It's a Fresno fight. It's a good market.
And a big shout out to Rick Miriam. I appreciate the tickets, my man.
Yeah.
Cole, we appreciate it. We'll be giving some out tonight on the show. But the way we're going to do it is subscribe to the channel, The Fighter's Voice, www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice, and it'll pop up right here. So I'm going to take somebody random that it pops up, leave a message and say, hey, I want a ticket. And when it pops up on here, I'm going to know. I'm going to leave a comment, say, you know what? Come and pick up your ticket. Meet me Friday at I don't know. We'll pick a restaurant and we'll pick a place. We'll make it happen. I'll give you your tickets for Saturday.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
All they
Yeah.
got to do is just have a free Saturday night. How hard is that?
Exactly, man. And awesome tickets too.
Yeah, those are nice seats.
Outside boxing event. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be nice and cool.
Great
out.
card
It's
too.
gonna be great.
And just to let you know, Bud Crawford will be in the audience. He will be in the crowd. Who is
cool.
literally, arguably, pound for pound, the best fighter in the world. You could put Lomachenko in front of him, or Canelo, or just shuffle a jar and pull any one of those three that you want out.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's a good company to be in.
And
with
this
names.
is Lomachenko. Remember you said?
Yeah, I was
you
gonna
liked
say,
the
that's a
shirt?
cool shirt,
And
but
this
I
is
like
a special
that.
shirt. A shout out to Miguel Salazar. Levels. Miguel Salazar made an exclusive of Lomachenko.
Oh, yeah?
And who else? Triple G and also Pac-Man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I like that with the mouthpiece and the color
You gotta
scheme
know
on
people
it.
that know people that know people.
To get the fancy shirts.
Well, and he has the rights to it.
Oh, does he
Yeah,
really?
he has an agreement with them, with these three guys.
Oh, cool. So he can just
There's
print
only
those
it's
cool
only
ones out.
limited. It's limited.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They're only gonna make so
they
many.
agreed to it. Yeah.
Oh.
If you look at Manny's page, he's rocking one, and so is Sean, and so is a few other.
The ones that were just
people.
made for them, kind of?
Yeah, the only 10 people that got them. Yeah,
Nice. That thing's gonna end up on eBay.
something like that. Yeah,
If you can get him to sign it, that'd be even better.
I mean, Salazar's doing a great job. He's a photographer and he's everywhere. I want to say he's with Top Rank, but he's with everybody that has
everybody
him.
that has
he's
Top Rank
freelance
fighters.
and his work speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, like I said.
You know, he's
concept.
so good and he's such a perfectionist. He'll literally put on Instagram, his Facebook, a live of him throwing pictures away because they're not perfect to him. And he
Oh,
says,
okay.
no, you don't know my address. No, you're not going to come and pick these up. And he's just throwing them away.
Yeah.
And people start inbox, hey, where you live? And hey, can I? No. He wants it perfect.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, that's, okay. Look at you get high level plastic surgeons and stuff
Yeah.
that'll turn down certain surgeries or certain cases
Yeah.
because they're like, that's too risky. It's going to be really hard. Like the Doctor Strange movie, just kept turning him
Yeah.
down. He's like, I don't want to hurt my image. Same
Yeah.
concept. They don't want to hurt their image. So a perfectionist in his art.
And just like you.
Exactly.
A kid needed some work. Hey, so how much time? 2 weeks. I can't put my name on that. Remember that? You go, I can't put my name.
Yeah.
I need a whole
You-
camp
yeah,
with
well,
him.
yeah, because people are
you
gonna be
what am
like-
I going to show him? Just how to hold his hands up? I mean,
Yeah, and
what
then
am I going to do
if he
with
goes
this
out there
guy?
and gets blasted or
Exactly.
something, and they're like, well, who are you training with? You were training with Cole?
What?
Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
No,
Now,
and I agree.
give me like 8 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
Give me like a full camp, a couple months or something. That's different. That's time to, you have to break any bad habit someone has, because if they come from with training background, if they have bad habits, you got to break
That's
it.
kind of how one of the breakdowns went on a certain somebody that we mentioned. And I'm going, well, what's wrong with this guy? What it was is he sent me videos of interviews, and he wanted me to post them and put the logo on them. And I said, no. I said, not yet. I said,
Yeah,
I want to
we
talk.
can't-
I want to talk to you about them,
Yeah,
but
we
I
can't
can't put
put our
this up.
image
I
on
can't
that
put
yet,
that
yeah.
on there just
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the.
You got to watch, dude.
Yeah.
You got to watch your product. Well, that's why companies like Starbucks, Coca-Cola, things
Yeah.
like that, they're very picky about what their logo ends
Yeah.
up in. Like you're going to see it in certain sports films, or you're not going to see it in certain
Ken
sports
Shamrock.
films.
Right now,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to co-sign anything he does not believe in or have a part in. He's just not going
Or
to
that
put
he
his
knows
face
will
on
work.
there. And if he sees it needs change, he wants to be able to have power and control and say, okay, let's do this and let's do that.
And here's why.
Just like Valor,
Yeah.
bare knuckle boxing, man.
Well, I'm
It's
with Rich,
taking
man. I
over.
don't think many changes are going to be needed.
No, what I'm saying is when it first started.
Yeah.
Yeah, to say, okay, I need this, I need a budget, I need Goodman when he put together his team. So they gave him the go-ahead to put together a powerhouse team, and that's exactly what he did. And,
Yeah, I was talking to Rich a
first
little
one
bit
was a
about
knockout
that.
out the park.
Yeah, I was talking to Rich about that after. It sounds like a really well put together team. The fact that he was like, yeah, when I say everybody has prior cage experience, venue experience, entertainment business industry, backstage experience, fight experience, all that stuff. He's like, they all have it. It's not like we have a crew of people that we've had to teach. It'd be like taking mid to high level roster of all the UFC fighters and taking like 5 of them, putting like 5 of them in a couple different gyms and saying, that's your team, train them. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's like a trainer's wet dream. You will have different training styles, but you've got a group of guys that are already high level. Now you just have to help them with game plans, changing any strengths they have.
Well, I mean, okay. We don't hide behind the facts, and we don't hide behind every other word as a cuss word to keep it entertaining. Sometimes we do freestyle on knowledge that we do, but at the end of the day, we make sure that we do our homework and that we're on the same page and that we're as professional as possible and keep it entertaining by a good laugh here and there.
I like it.
No, it is.
Consistency is key.
It has to be. It's entertainment, man, at its fullest. Some people buy it, some people don't. And some people really ask me, and I will say this, Richard, you were really going for this guy? Well, how will it sound if all 3 commentators go for the same guy? Then we got no content. We have no
Yeah.
entertainment. And I don't just pick a guy. I'm going to pick a guy, and I'm going to give the legitimate reason why I actually think he has that 1 in a million ways to possibly win.
I'm with you. I brought
Exactly.
picks for the weekend. No, I'm with
Well,
you. on that.
let's hear the picks for the weekend. Tell us what's coming up, man.
So we've got what's today?
The weekend of
Wednesday.
what?
This weekend.
I know
So-
the weekend of what do we have coming up?
Oh, we've got Bellator and UFC
Bellator,
Fight Night.
baby.
So
That's right.
I grabbed the main and the co-mains just to kind of get some feel for
Yeah.
the cards. Remember, Bellator is on Friday night, though, guys. They're not on the same night. Bellator's got a pretty good habit of. I mean, Coker's a genius. He knows how the game works, and he's like, why?
Every once in a while he'll have a Saturday, but he's not going to do it and go
Something-
heads up.
Yeah, exactly. Not because he's afraid, but because he knows why. When I can maximize,
He wants to keep his crowd,
views,
man.
Exactly.
He wants
so
to
I
keep
can
his
maximize.
crowd, and he wants to keep his fans.
So they're on Friday night, and then UFC Fight Night's going to be on Saturday. So Friday night, you've got Salter and Molalo are fighting, not each other, but Salter's fighting Vanstinas? Yeah, Vinstinas. Vestinas. And then King Mo, he's fighting Capel.
Is
So
King Mo at heavyweight now? Or did he come back down? Light heavy?
I think that fight's going to be at light heavy.
Okay.
It might, don't quote me, I'd have to
Okay.
double check on that, but I think that fight's going to be at light heavy, not because he was having a hard time making weight, because why?
Yeah.
There's more money, there's maybe in his mind more money, easier opponents maybe on the drop down. So, and then with Fight Night on Saturday, that's going to be in Moscow, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're
So what time
they're
is that
trying to
going
break
on?
into Khabib's market kind of thing. Like they want to
Okay.
be more in that market because they have a champion in it. That's the perfect time to break into that market. That one is going to be, since it's in Moscow, that means it's going to be probably super early
Maybe
Saturday
out of 11
morning.
or something.
No, probably.
Probably 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's going to be early. Saturday, it's going to be early
Yeah,
Saturday
and
morning.
and hey, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you find out the exact times because I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to watch it later, and then I'm watching ESPN and it's telling me everybody that won because
yeah,
I
you gotta-
overslept, man.
For the overseas ones, all the
Yeah.
overseas ones, it's generally like in the middle of the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I've had ones that start at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I've had fights in Japan where in the States,
And I remember
it's like
when
2 a.m.
BJ Penn, the first time that he lost to Frankie Edgar, UFC played it delayed. Everybody
Yeah.
else knew that he won. And
Yeah, which was
buddies of mine
weird.
tell me, go, what?
Yeah,
no,
which was
I got to
weird.
watch it. I didn't believe him because ESPN didn't put it in the bottom because they weren't with ESPN yet.
Exactly.
And I watched it and I was going, man.
Like how does
So,
that?
yeah.
It's weird, and I think
Yeah.
that was part of like why they made some of that change.
Yeah,
They don't
exactly.
want to have a repeat of that where somebody
Somebody
already
leaked it
knows,
out.
Views
Yeah.
will drop. I mean, people are going to watch it because they want to see it anyway.
Yeah.
But people who are just watching it just to know, well,
Yeah.
now they know. You're losing a lot of your sports betting guys. Like I know guys that bet MMA, they don't even really watch. They just bet the line and then they just wait for the results. So that's the only reason they watch.
You know
is
what
for
I
the
want to say
results.
off the subject? I wish I would have brought a picture, man. Jose Ramirez
Mm.
got a freaking red spider.
Oh, did he
Freaking
really?
clean Ferrari, man. Just clean.
That's
clean.
nice.
He posted it yesterday. No, he posted it today.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What do you think that put him back? $250,000, 275 maybe.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
But at the same time, like, and some people will look at it that way. It's like, but he earned the shit
He
out
did.
of that.
Yes, he did.
Like,
And he
he's-
does.
He does. Not did. He does. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
yes.
100%.
And he has a great team. I just had to throw that in there. And he
I
was,
bet that was
he
fast.
was posting it, and it was just he posted it. The trunk was open, the hood was open, and he has a little son in the trunk. But you know the trunk's in the front.
Yeah.
the doors are popping, and just
Oh, he had the wing doors on it.
yeah,
Oh.
it's the fire engine red. It's your classic. I'm not sure if it's peanut butter inside or if he had black inside with red. I'm not too sure.
Peanut
I was
butter would
just
be nice.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just.
But he's gonna get
must
pulled
be
over
nice.
that fast.
Must be nice. Why he knows all the officers here in Fresno. They're gonna pull over. Yeah, he'll get pulled over and they'll ask for an autograph.
I know, right?
That's cool, you know. I mean, everybody loves him here in this community.
Yeah, but man, that sucked to be the guy that had to pull him over and be like,
Yeah.
dude, Jose, brother, come on.
So he's like,
That's
really?
hard, 4 copies, dude. Hey,
Yeah.
could you press really hard because I snuck a 5th one in there so I can get your autograph? But I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Can you sign this glove? I just happen to
Yeah,
have it. Cops,
yeah,
are driving,
really, right?
cops are driving around with boxing gloves and stuff now.
hanging in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're just hanging in there.
Just Jose Ramirez autographs all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so you've got anytime you've got overseas fights, they're going to be in the middle of the night. So I would
Yeah.
check with ESPN because what the UFC might be recording it as and it might even be a delay. They might
Yeah.
say we're going to air it at like 9 in the morning because it's that, or it's going to go live at 2 in the morning. So
Mm-hmm.
Moscow's way over there. So I would double check. Just go to the UFC's website. It'll tell you exactly. Matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, I'll just do it right now while we're talking. But one of the things you've got is you got UFC Fight Night on Saturday, and that's going to be Zabit and Cater. They're going to be fighting, and then Volkov is actually getting Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy is that last minute replacement that we were talking about last week. He's a teammate with Dos Santos. So when Dos Santos got that cellulitis,
Yeah,
whatever, in his
yeah.
leg, they said, "Hey, Hardy, you're going to replace him." Now
There
this
was
was
a comment made about Hardy today. That
well, yeah,
somebody called him out.
Well, yeah.
The big dude there. He's always gassing sometimes.
Well, they were saying that it was BS that he's getting a shot right away, and people are saying that it's okay. So a lot of people are saying Hardy shouldn't be jumping up in competition. Like he just shouldn't be doing it. It's too much of a jump in competition because Volkov had like almost like
I
double
know.
digit wins and stuff. So
I
people,
know.
all of Hardy's guys, right? But if
I got
went
two
and looked
scenarios
back-
for that.
Well, I went and looked back, dude. His last fight was like October of last year. And Volkov hasn't fought in like over a year. And I was looking at his record and his consistency in it is kind of sporadic. And I'm like, I think what they're doing is I think they're pumping at promotion dollars into Hardy right now.
Well, I mean, he had almost DQs in a row. A lot of people aren't big fans of his. This could be the way of saying, okay, I'm going to leave you out to dry.
11 a.m. Saturday.
Okay.
So if you want to watch the Moscow card, 11 a.m.
I'm going
Saturday.
to look forward to that fight. I'm going to watch that fight.
So
One, because
what's
I'm
your
a
take
Cowboy
on-
fan, and two, because I like to see him be able to transition from sport to sport.
So where do you see this Volkov scenario in your head? Where do you see him?
Well, Hardy,
you have
a
two
lot
scenarios.
of people don't care too much for him. They don't. So he could be left, out there to kind of cut the fat, so to speak. And another one's, hey, be careful what you ask for. You want to jump up
wanted
in
to step up in
competition?
competition,
Here
yeah.
you go.
And
Here
I
you go.
mean,
Let's see.
Let's
find out.
The thing that works to it is he's probably been a Dos Santos training partner anyway for that camp.
Yeah.
So he's probably familiar with the game plan. He's not, well, here's the thing is the UFC saying, yeah, go ahead, says that they have no problem with whatever was going on because at the end of the day, maybe they did a test on there like,
That
dude,
fight's
it's
still going to
100.
represent Del Santo.
You think so?
I mean, it is someone from the same. It is. I would think so. Almost like a chief second, almost like you're second in
Yeah,
command.
but you're not, I mean,
You're not him, okay? You're not him. Just like when Tito Ortiz beat, who was it, Guy? What was
Mesger?
it? Yes. And
Yeah.
then, after he did that, kind of made a remark afterwards, and Ken didn't like that.
yeah.
Because it was that whole Lions Den thing.
Yeah.
So, he stepped up.
Well, yeah, because he was like, I beat like one of you guys. Like he was just going on a tirade trying to beat all the Lions
Yeah.
guys at that time.
So did Cruz.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not saying
yeah.
it's that far, but I'm just kind of feeling that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give that fight some life, man.
Well, no, I'm just super confused about, not even really confused, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around if there was really a because people are
Do
giving
you
so much
think
crap over
do
the
you
inhaler.
think rust matters in the UFC?
Yes.
But it doesn't affect Cruz at all.
Well,
He's exempt from that.
People would hear me say yes and go, well, what about Diaz? And I would go, well, Diaz
Diaz, yeah.
Diaz is constantly active though. It's not
yeah,
like
he's
Nate
constantly in the
Diaz is
gym.
doing nothing. Oh, the last 2 years that he was on that time off or whatever,
Yeah.
he was doing stuff. He was training boxing. He was training jiu-jitsu. I think he was competing in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
He probably wanted to take a boxing match. He probably did some exhibition
Remember,
matches.
he said that he wasn't jogging to build his stamina. Well, I had gotten some first-hand news going into that fight, which I still couldn't even talk about, but we could talk about it later.
Okay.
About that a reason why he was unable to jog and work out.
Yeah,
using
and-
his legs.
Yeah, I heard that same thing. But because here's the thing, though, everybody would say, yeah, that didn't allow him to have the cardio to go to do what he usually does, which is drag you into the deep water. And Nate's always good for that because he knows he
Nate's
can.
not going to check a kick anyways.
Yeah, but the thing is that I didn't see Jorge getting tired. It's not like usually when Nate's fighting this guy.
Okay, let's go here. Did Nate deserve the right to get knocked out?
But he didn't get knocked out.
No, I know he didn't. But there's that what ifs that with the whole doctor, the whole.
But here's the thing: yes. If you're asking the question,
Yeah.
did he deserve it?
Yes,
Fuck yeah,
yes,
100%, without
yes.
doubt.
I don't think the doctor should have went one-on-one with him. The doctor should have went in the corner, and his corner could have stated his case. No, get out here, doc. And the doc could have probably said something like, I'm going to give you 1 minute, son, or I'm throwing in the towel. Or I'm going to give him 1 round, stay active, or I'm stopping the fight.
But here's the thing is, unlike boxing, you got the shorter rounds. MMA, 1 minute's a long time.
Yeah.
And I saw the cut. All Jorge had to do is catch that 1 or 2 more times, and that whole thing's tearing open.
Yes.
So
it was a bad cut.
But now you've got the variable. What people forget too is you've got the different commissions.
Yeah.
This was a New York commission doctor versus
Exactly.
when he fought back in April or whatever. No, August. He fought.
Our California doctors here in Clovis.
Yeah,
The guy from UFC.
Exactly. Yeah. So funny story.
Which we got to bring him back on the show. Well, not back, but we got to bring him on the show.
Yeah. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, no, but when Diaz fought in August, he had bad cuts. Bad. When he fought Pettis.
Yeah.
The same cut. In fact, what was cut was just reopened scar tissue from the previous healed one. Same thing under his eye. If you look at both fights, the exact goddamn spot.
Yeah.
So it's not like Jorge hit him so bad that he split him open, which I'm not taking anything away from Jorge. Please don't kill me. Is that it's not that he was just blasting him hard. It's that he was hitting him hard on spots that were already weak armor.
Yeah.
The skin, there's already scar tissue there. Those are going to split open way easier. So it's not like it was damaging, but the commission in New York is a lot different than where the commission was when he fought in August.
Well, he joked around too. He said, "You sneeze on me, I start bleeding."
And yeah, well, that's because him and Nate both. They've got scar tissue all around this section from just being in battles and wars. That it splits a lot easier. Nick even had it scraped down. He had the scar tissue shaved down, had surgery to do that, so it would stop doing that so easy. Same thing with Nate.
He has thicker eyebrows though, the brother.
They're brawlers,
He does,
man. They're just built for that. It didn't hurt them.
It is what it is, man.
Do I feel he shouldn't have stopped it? Yes, of course. Do I understand why the dog did it? Yeah, because 1 or 2 more solid hits on there, dude, that's splitting open. At that point, the doctor is looking out for the longevity of Nate's fighting career.
I understand.
And a lot of people don't.
As a fan, I'm disappointed.
Super disappointed.
As a human being, honestly, I do believe he could have stopped it sooner.
Who, the doctor?
Yeah. He could have if he wanted to. He could have stepped in and say, "I need to look at it." I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, he gave us.
But he was staying
those
active.
rounds.
He was staying active and he was moving. He wasn't just there taking punishment.
No, yeah,
At one
exactly.
time, he took some shots, but
Yeah.
he rolled over and moved around and just.
But Jorge was winning. If that thing went all
just too
5,
strong, man.
it was because here's the thing: is most people look at Nate's cardio as, well, yeah, because he can turn the gas on later because he still has the gas. Well, most guys generally tend to get tired after 3 rounds anyway.
Well, listen, you can have a car, right, and you know you're about to turn it on. You turn it on. But if your car has no lights and you're driving at nighttime, you don't know where the hell you're going.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm talking about not being able to freaking see. We're not saying that Nate is not a man or is not tough. He just couldn't see. And,
Yeah.
his cut was bad. It was.
Once you see him doing this,
He kept doing
that's one of the things the doc, like, that's why the doc, when I fought Uriah, I kept doing this to get the blood out of my eyes, and then he'd come flying in with
What
an
does
elbow.
that blood feel like, man?
Just warm.
Just warm?
Just like somebody's
Does it
just pouring
sting?
warm water on
Does
your
it
face.
blur vision?
It does, yeah. When it gets in your eye, it's just like having warm water poured in your eye. It's not going to blur it the same.
So when you can't see, what's your instinct besides to wipe it? Kind of step back with a jab?
Yeah, you got to step back and try to make some distance, but that puts
Yeah.
you now it puts you at the pace of you're backing
And
up.
you never want to step back.
No, not with certain guys. No. So I can see that's one of the things the doc is looking at is where the cut was. I mean, if it was a boxing match in New York State, the doctor probably would have stopped it. it's coming into his eye. The guy can't even wipe it out now. Now he's got to try to rub his glove on it and just smear it around. No, that's not how it works there. They would have said, nope, that's it. Fight's over. Cut. Winner.
That's it. Yal Stubel, that's all she wrote.
Yeah, and that's just the commission. So people need to like lay off the guy that made the decision. He's just doing his job. That was exactly what he was supposed to do. The second you got a fighter starting to reach for the blood, it's becoming a vision problem. That's if you can't argue that. And I know Nate's going to say, I can see fine. I get that. He's a goddamn warrior. Like Masvidal said, he's like a dog. You'd have to kill that guy. Like, he's not going to stop. So you have to look out for him when he's not looking out for himself.
Wasn't that a G move? Just chilling at the press conference with a big old piece of
pizza and liquor.
And just, liquor and just, doing his thing, talking, kind of going,
because he's the fucking man, dude.
He's the man.
Like, dude, what are you going to do?
That's the way to go out. Like, didn't he just fit the mold?
Yeah.
He is a bad mother. You know what I mean? He is.
Jorge has now been given an opportunity to show who he's always been.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just fucking going with it because he doesn't have to change anything.
And people that do research, they're going to find out he is exactly
he's always
who
been
he
that
says
way.
he is.
Dude came from fighting in Kimbo's backyard fights.
But the thing is, now he has the exposure, the marketing,
the platform.
and the platform that he deserves and been waiting for.
Yeah, he's earned it. So he's just going to make the fucking most of it. I mean, why not? I think
Cowboy waited. He got his platform.
Yeah.
He got his opportunities.
Yeah. I'd love if I was talking shit on Conor, though. That was hilarious. Dude, he's like, who?
Yeah, exactly.
Like in a cage?
That little guy?
Yeah, he was like in a cage?
Yeah,
like he's going to fight in a cage?
UFC's coming back for what? What's he coming
back for? To fight?
More
What's
liquor?
Yeah, dude. He wants
say-
to smack
he
that guy
says,
so
"Come on,
bad.
man."
But he's right. I could see Conor signing just for it. But the thing is, though,
Not
he's
at
going to make
170.
Masvidal rich by doing that.
Yeah, he is. Not at one.
And Masvidal knows it, dude. Masvidal, dude, there's no fucking way you'll get him to sign. Oh, you got him to sign?
Yeah, well,
how much do I get to beat him up?
Those are all, you know what, I'll throw it out there and if he signs, let's do it. I'll get to have fun.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
He would wreck Conor, dude.
Well, I
He
mean,
would wreck Conor.
what if it happened at 155? Can
I
he
don't
come
think-
down?
I don't think Jorge can make 155 and still have the effectiveness that he has at 170. I
can't see Conor. I mean,
because he's already
Conor
thin,
would
man.
just move up to 170. He won't be effective at 170. He didn't have the same pop at 170.
He didn't. Even when he fought Nate, it was still
No,
a slow.
no,
he wasn't
exactly.
able to finish.
It was more strategic than anything. It was a game plan.
He was using the effectiveness of being able to carry the 170 and still strike and get in and out.
And he kind of paced himself.
Well, yeah,
He's
that's
still
a lot of
gassed,
weight
though.
to carry around.
Well, for
A
him
lot
too.
of, yeah, to carry that much weight.
And Conor does. If you look, Conor does got a big head. Did you see? We don't got a new picture. He got some mohawk now.
Shut
Yes, he
the
does.
fuck
Yes,
up.
he does. He has a mohawk. My man's been kicking it with Chuck or something. He just said,
I'm
"I
gonna
don't
have to see
give."
that
He just
one.
said, "I don't give a Chuck," and he threw a mohawk in there. And you know what I'm excited about is later on in the show, we got from Top Rank, man. We got head of media relations director. We got Evan Korn. I mean, this dude is just like.
When it comes to controlling the face of Top Rank and how it's imaged and
Exactly,
seen,
but he's having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And he's all work. You could talk to him, you can BS with him, he'll laugh. But when he's working,
Well, I saw some of the pictures, man. He
he
looked
gets a
happy.
little stress, but he enjoys it. He loves that pressure
Challenge.
because he loves the challenge. He loves the challenge. Like, okay, how am I going to kind of MacGyver shit? Okay, how am I going to make this work with your shoelace? This guy has a pulse. He's breathing. He's 147s. Let's bring him in.
Tyson's telling me he's got 2 shoes and 1 lace. How do I do this?
Yeah,
I got you, T.
Exactly.
Sandals.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
then we also got the talented, the beautiful, and I will, give her this crown as the first. No, I don't want to say the first, but the lady of boxing, and that's Christina Poncher. She's coming to the studio too. They're on their way, coming from Fresno, California.
she's head of the commentary.
Commentating, yes, for Top Rank.
She's
man.
like literally when you think of faces of the company.
Yes,
she's become one of those.
Yes, exactly. And she knows her boxing, man, and she loves what she's doing. So they're on their way, man. So when they do
gonna
come
make
in,
sure
we're going
they
to take
check
like
it out.
Yeah, we're going to take a 5, maybe 10-minute break to prep when they arrive.
So
and
don't
go
disappear.
anywhere. Don't disappear. We'll be coming back.
We're
man.
gonna have them on tonight.
We're giving you guys a treat, man, because
Yeah.
it is Fight Week in Fresno, California.
We were
And it's our
lucky.
job of the Fighter's Voice to, when these big fight promotions come in there, we try to bring you the best possible guests that we can in the flesh and make it happen for you guys. Yeah.
It's going to be one of those nights, guys. I'm just saying, like,
Oh, it
you're
is.
going to get extra content. It's just we lucked out. It's fight week.
I was just making a rookie mistake, man. I was looking at the monitor, and KP came off this tables right there with his freaking stuck a Ginsu knife in my rib and said, "This one, this one." He said, "I don't give
will
a."
hurt you.
He did.
He
He
will
did.
hurt you, dude.
Hey,
Because
Mark,
KP don't mess around, dude.
Mark Davis, he's a fan of the Sexy and Spicy.
Oh,
He really is. Yeah, he is. He
That's-
turned it around now.
that's how he goes, man.
Yeah, I kind of went
Ah.
blank on this one now. But okay, we're on court.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
yeah. So
We're making
okay,
it
guys.
happen.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to take what, a 5?
I'll take about a 5, maybe 7-minute break, be able to prep, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to have energetic. We're going to talk about Saturday's event. We're going to throw some MMA at their direction. We're going to talk about some dream fights and talk about both parties and how their careers just taking off and waking up. And like they say, you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be coming right back. Rich Ortiz with the Fighter's Voice. My host with the most, the co-host, the UFC veteran himself, Cole Escobedo. Stand by. We'll see you in about 5 to 10.
competition. The Fighters Voice.
Fresno, California. We're live here in Mad Productions Studios. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about this Saturday's event, Top Rank Boxing at its finest. But, before I even go on and on, Cole, you left me kind of hanging on last shows. And, those of you who stuck around, I appreciate you sticking around. Cole Escovedo, the UFC veteran, was talking about Nate Diaz and his cut in his eye. Should they have stopped in the fight or should have let it go? I gave you my take, and you just left me hanging, my man. You didn't tell me exactly what was going on. I want your take on that. But I want to introduce our beautiful guest, the one, the only, the first lady of boxing. I want to go ahead and give her that label, let her carry that title, and run with it. If anybody wants to argue, they can argue all they want, but it comes down to numbers, and numbers don't lie. Because the last time she was on this show, her feet were wet. Now she's swimming. She's in the lake, and she's making it happen for Top Rank Boxing, not just women, but commentating as a whole, as a one. Because a lot of people say, well, she's doing great for a female. Throw that garbage out. The box. Because my daughter is female, and I said, you're number one at what you do, plain and simple, period. You're not good because you're a female. You're good because you're good at what you do. And she's very good at what she does. She loves the sport of boxing, and you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, Christina Poncher.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was exactly how I wrote it. That was a perfect
Exactly. I
introduction.
know. I kind of missed this part right here because Evan was texting me during the show and kind of throws me off.
My publicist sent you that. It was perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
I got
on
it.
He's ahead of it.
No, thank you guys for having me again.
So how do you like that title?
Man, I mean, it's honestly a dream come true. When I first started in boxing, all I wanted to do was, embrace the sport, make money. And I never really thought that it would have taken me the direction as far as being one of only 2 women ever to do play-by-play in the sport. I was started out as a reporter and as a host. And then when I got on the commentary team doing color commentary, that was where it was at for me. I absolutely love that position. I never thought about taking that lead role. I grew up in Southern California listening to Vince Scully, listening to Chick Hearn. Legendary voices that carry the role of play-by-play in the respective sports. And I loved listening to them, but I never saw myself in that role, particularly not in boxing.
Yeah.
And it's just, that just goes to show that it's not my path.
Right.
I'm not uber religious, but
It's just a great path that you ended up on.
It's just these are the opportunities that were presented to me, and 9 years later, here I am. So
you're professional at what you do, but you also keep it real. There's times when I hear you say, "Oh, my bad," and then you'll go on. You keep it real. You're a human being, and you captivate the crowd, and you keep them there. And by saying that little remark, because I always watch and I study you, it's okay to to have a hiccup here and there because it's part of it. It's true and it's raw and it's professional, and you feed off it.
Well, look, calling the undercards in particular, we're on the air from 3:30 for the first bell till the main event at sometimes starts at 7:30 till 9:30. I'm on
I
there
subscribe.
for 6
I hear you.
hours calling
The gray
up to
matter
10
gets a little
fights.
spent,
Sometimes things just happen. If I say 50,000 words, I might mess up 5. I might mess up 20.
I just love the way you embrace it and go with it and roll with the punches and continue to be professional and shoot for the stars. Is what I'm saying.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You do, and there's some other people that feel the same way, because they'll say this to go, "Oh, she's badass." Because a lot of times, honestly, you'll have some guys, "Oh, well, they got to put her pretty face there." No, the talent is there. And the whole package is there.
That's why I felt like I knew I made it, because play-by-play, you don't see my face at all.
They
show us in the beginning of the broadcast, hello, everybody, welcome. It's just my voice, and it's just my knowledge. And that's
what I was
me,
going to say, the knowledge,
that really cements it for me, is because it's not that, she's...
Little echo there.
Oh, I was like, I have a backup cheerleader here. It's like,
there you go.
she's bomb.
It's background.
But it's that, no, I could be up there with no makeup, hair tied up or whatever, doing the same thing, and it's because it's what I'm saying that matters. It's what I'm seeing. It's my opinion. It's not...
The quality won't change.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not like, let's put it on mute and watch her, because...
Like it's a Weather Channel or something silly like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel
Yep.
Knowledge is key, man.
No,
when
it
you know
is.
what you're talking about.
It is. It's just like having a conversation in the garage, watching something that you love, and your opinions on it and your expertise on it. It just takes off. You do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having her job? She's actually saying, "I get a paycheck for this." I mean, doing
I mean,
what
it's
you
a lot of
love and
work.
doing good.
Yeah,
no, I
it
know
is a lot of
there's
work, but
prepping,
it's-
there's studying.
Yeah, when it's a labor of love.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%.
And that's when you wake
100%.
up and go, I can't believe I get paid to do this. I get paid to study a sport I love,
Yes.
and then I get to go and talk about it, and people love listening to it.
Just like you train, you did.
Yeah, exactly,
You know,
yeah.
it's like I'm doing this, and you work extremely hard, but it's still, it's not sitting at a desk and doing that.
Yeah.
You're getting paid to do exactly what you love and take high risk, but
Yeah,
it's
it
worth
was-
everything you
that's
put in.
what they all say is they say they wouldn't be doing it if the reward wasn't worth
Yeah.
the risk, I guess.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So tell me when they started to take notice and say, you know what, I want to offer you this position. I want to give you this position, a bigger platform, more responsibility, and your career continues to grow.
I'm really not sure of what the particular moment was, but I think when
How far was it after the last time you came to the show in Fresno?
I mean, I think my very first show that I did the entire play-by-play was in July, I believe.
Yeah.
Was in July. Or no, maybe it was even early. Yeah, I think it was in the summer. And I think that I had done it on one or two fights on the undercard just to kind of get my
Right.
feet, because they wanted that person in that role to be consistent. And I was doing the color commentary role, but we were having different play-by-plays depending on where we went,
Yeah.
because unless you're offering somebody a full-time contract, you have to have other gigs or other things to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But I had a contract already with Top Rank. I just didn't have the contract with ESPN. So they're like, I think that, the powers that be got together and like, what if we groom Christina or give her an opportunity for
Yeah,
that role?
'cause
So at
she's
least
already kinda doing
because she's
it.
already in the mix. She's here every
Yeah.
week. She knows all these guys better than anybody else because of the time that she's put in with them.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we give her the opportunity and groom her
Well, yeah,
for
you've
that?
got rapport, you've got history with the fighters.
Exactly.
That's all
exactly.
valuable.
Knowledge of the product, etc. So I'm like, all right. And I think for me, what gave me the extra boost of confidence to be willing to take the leap or the jump is that they approached me with it. It wasn't like I've been asking and asking and asking. I'm like, shoot, I better.
They came
I
to you and
better
said, hey, we
perform.
had an idea. Do
Yeah.
you think
Why
you'd
don't
be
you
down?
give this a try? And I'm like, really?
Nay,
Like,
that's a great compliment.
You're calling some punches anyway. You're adding color in. You're kind of doing. You're in this hybrid kind of role in like a
Yeah.
3-man booth. Why don't you give it a try? And I was like, all right. And I was like, should I? Should I not?
Gotta jump on those opportunities.
Yeah, after talking with my husband, my family, my team, everyone's like, you'd be crazy not to. Not only just because
That's
of the
a great
opportunity at hand,
opportunity.
but how you can push the needle for women in the sport
There
and
you
women
go.
in sports in general. Like
Yeah.
how many male professional sports have women in the lead play-by-play role? Not very
No.
many.
Very few.
Not very
Yeah.
many.
No.
Very few.
And if they do the cameras on them.
A little bit more.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to get a little more camera
No,
time.
no,
I don't spend all that time being direct-
exactly. No, that's all good too when you're the whole package.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
helps.
is.
It helps.
It's marketable, and at the end of the day, you have to be who you say you are.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
exactly,
Yep.
because they're going to read right through that. They're going to call your bluff.
Yeah, that's
you have
I've
to
seen
be.
them tear
yeah.
commentators apart too for
100%.
for totally misspeaking. Even
Yeah.
guys, period, just they totally tear them apart. It's like knowledge. You
Yes.
either have to know what you're talking about or you don't, and they will see it no matter what.
And people have missteps. I mean, you can you can say a fact wrong or
Yeah, misquote a
say someone's like
stat or
misquote or
something.
something like
Yeah.
that. Even fighters have slip ups in their fights
Yeah.
where they don't follow the game plan. I mean, everything has its own little bit of leeway, but I think boxing especially, people can sense out who's real and who's not.
Yeah.
Or who is there for the right reasons or who's not, or who really knows their stuff and who doesn't. And I think that it took
Who's real media, who's not.
It took years in the game, and then finally it's like, all right, no, Christina earned that spot. And to see the response and everything has been overwhelmingly positive. There's some people that maybe never will get used to hearing a woman's voice on a male
Yeah.
sport, no matter what it is, and that there's nothing I can do about it.
yeah.
There's nothing I can do about that. All I can do is do the job to my best of my ability and have people say, damn, she's a good commentator. Not she's a good, as you were saying, woman commentator or female commentator. I just want to do the best job that I can, represent my family well, my employer, and at the end of the day, not have any of the discussion be about me. Have it be about what they just saw.
Yeah.
happen on the
So
screen.
that's got to be a good.
That's rewarding.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be rewarding to know that your ability to do the job itself is what's gotten you noticed. Because remember, like they said, they came to you and said, "Hey, we had this idea to fill a role. We think you'd be perfect for it because of what you've already done." That's got to be a real good confidence booster too. Like to really
Yes.
tell you, okay, so all this hard work, it was correct. Like any doubts I had about, am I doing this right? Should I
Somebody's
change
watching,
something?
somebody's noticing.
Exactly. So it's like,
Yes.
okay, cool. Whatever I've been doing is working. now I get to do it on an even bigger stage. Like now I can
Exactly.
expand my platform. So yeah, that's going to be a good
Exactly.
booster.
See,
so.
but the main thing is all this happened after she came on The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters.
You know what? They
We're
were like, we
Christina,
listened to you.
we're simply
with
knocking
you got
out the
that
competition.
headset on.
That's
And-
it. That's it. Just took off from there.
We've
Just
got
like
this,
Andy
we've got this
Ruiz.
thing that happens. Yeah, like Andy Ruiz.
We do.
Good juju, you
it's-
know,
that's
it's that
the
good
idea,
mojo.
yeah.
We do. He was on the show, and when he came on the show, he was getting ready to fight, and we said, "Hey, all you got to do
You're
is
talking
win
about
the-
right before Anthony Joshua fight?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah, before he was even announced. He came on the show, he called in, and I said, hey, if you win this fight, hey, they're still looking for an opponent. And he was exactly, but I got to win this fight first. He wins the fight, he comes on, he said, Anthony Joshua, I'm letting you know I'm available right here if it happens. And then he called and he said, I got an announcement to make. He made the announcement on there, but we had to pull it because it wasn't officially. He said, I can't do it just yet.
He was trying to
Came
give you
in
guys a
here,
scoop, but he
made-
got,
yes.
pulled
and
the
then
reins back
made
a
the
little bit.
announcement.
Yeah.
Our last time.
Too much info too fast.
Right.
Scenario.
Exactly.
But that shows trust and rapport, and that's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Ab-
But it was just that
Absolutely.
was like one of the really big first times that we were joking with the guy, like, "Oh, dude, wouldn't it be cool if like you just won this fight and then like
If
you
you
get
get
the
the
phone
call."
call?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know, I would take it. I'd be ready. It'd be awesome to get that phone call, but I'm focused on the
Yeah.
Saturday. But man, to get a phone call after that would be like a dream." And then sure as crap,
2 shows later.
2 shows later,
You're
he's
like,
like, "Guess
"Oh my
what?
God,
I won my
yeah."
fight and they called me."
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But
And I will go on record. I mean, I've said this because I am stoked. I did pick Andy Ruiz to win the fight.
Yeah.
I was the only one of all our broadcast crew
Yeah.
that picked him.
Everybody
he
was
was
just
the top
looking at
ranked fighter.
Joshua.
I've seen his history. I've called
Yeah.
his fights from way back in the day. So I was like a little bit of heart.
Light
and
on his feet,
and a
yeah.
little bit, but I was like, dude, I sat up there like,
That's
you
right.
could be
All
like,
me.
yeah, because
All
you could
me.
see
I
the
called
same
that.
thing we could see is like everyone's
Yeah.
they're looking at Andy. They're not looking at his record. They're not looking at who he's beat, how he's beat them, how consistently. Like
They
nobody was
labeled the
looking.
man.
Exactly. They visually, instantly
Yeah.
labeled
I
him,
mean,
which
and there are
is silly.
and there are guys that still have studied and knew his background and stuff, and still picked Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
And I'm not claiming, oh wait, well Pontra gets one, she's a guru because she picked that. No, but I'm just saying like there's more than what meets the eye with.
Josh
a lot
reminds
of
me
these
of Frank
guys.
Bruno.
So it's just
He reminds me of Frank Bruno a
Does he?
little bit. Yeah, he just does. Didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
I had to
it's okay.
say that in there.
Yeah.
You know, he just kind of does. Yeah, he does.
Body type and the way he moves.
Just the same kind of mannerism and the whole. But you know what? He's in hiding right now. He's not on social media. He's taking care of business.
Well, yeah, I've noticed that. Joshua's been very quiet.
Exactly.
He's been very quiet.
Exactly.
But Andy's been quiet too.
You know, since
but
we're there, what do you think he's going to do different this fight?
Anthony Joshua.
Yes. What adjustments do you think he's going to make?
Well, I do think that he's probably going to try to box more.
That's smart.
I think that he should maybe cut back on the weight training and adding like the bulk. I don't think that helped him in the fight. And I mean, maybe he's going to have take it not so difficult in sparring, maybe because there's rumors
Yeah,
swirling
I
around
heard-
about things
I
that had
had those
happened in,
rumors
too.
in sparring or
Prior
whatnot.
sparring
So
matches.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
back up on that
No,
a little
she's
bit.
she's exactly right, man. Exactly on all angles, right there. I mean, yeah, he's not gonna. They go toe to toe again. That's gonna favor Andy completely. He's gonna have to
That's
give
a
Andy a
brawl.
boxing lesson. I mean, give him
Yeah.
lateral movement. Give him a boxing lesson. and
avoid
stay,
like a-
stay away
a
from that
brawl.
power.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Andy's also cutting down, so I don't think he's eating any of those Snickers.
no, he's looking a lot slimmer, and that's not
Yes.
going to change anything either. He was carrying weight. That's
Yeah.
all it was.
Yeah.
It's not like he was a fat slob. His dude was just carrying weight. He was
big cat.
Yeah,
very
that's
mobile,
all it is.
very
So-
agile.
But but not carrying the weight like she was saying is
Yeah.
going to be key for Johnson because he'd be able to move a lot faster. Not try to hit harder, just try to hit him more often now.
But as far as carrying something, I want to talk about someone who's carrying the title pound for pound, arguably the best in the world, and that's Bud Crawford. What can we expect when he walks into the ring?
Well, he's getting ready to fight December 14th.
14th.
And he's here actually right now in Fresno because he's training partners with Jamel Herring, who's fighting this Saturday. So I think from Terrence, you're going to see fireworks from him. I think that Kavaliauskas is a good fighter. He's a really good fighter, and he's tough. And if anyone thinks it's going to be a
Just
walk in
stand
the
right in
park,
front of him, though.
it's not. But I think the style, like
Yeah.
I was going to say, yes, I agree with you. I think it's somewhat tailor-made for
Yes.
Terrence. And I do think Terrence has his eyes on
The bigger prize.
a bigger prize,
Bigger
and that's
picture.
fighting a belt holder. But you have to take care of business.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kavaliauskas is, known to get cut, and he will continue to come forward, and he will fight till the very end. But I think that there is different levels. Terrence is pound for pound for a reason, and I think, if as long as he sticks to his game plan and does what he has to do, I
Yeah.
mean, we should see, him hopefully get to a position where he can
On his worst
unify.
day, he's tough to beat.
I mean,
He's
what
he's
does
a little
he,
different.
What does he not do well? It's hard to
He's
to say
always in
anything.
shape. He's fast. Granite chin. Avoids punches. Able to come back when he did get touched one time. Power in both hands. His ring IQ is just. He sets traps. He's a nightmare.
And the team that he has behind him,
Exactly.
and now the team that he has around him, they've got 4 world champions, 2 current and 2 former world champions in that camp. B&B Boxing Academy, Bomac and Saul and Red Spikes, and now they have Rob Brandt working with them. They have Maurice Hooker working with them. They have Jamel, who's a world champion now. So that also brings up the caliber.
Iron
of
sharpens
training.
iron kind of scenario, yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
all's
Maurice
going
Hooker did
well
move
for
up
them.
now to 147s, correct?
Yeah, I think he's still. I think we may see him at 140 again at some point
Okay.
too. But I think maybe his next fight's going to be
Yeah.
at 47. But I think they have a great team of nutritionists
Yeah.
in perfecting athletes that works with all those fighters. And I think just in talking to them, picking their brain, he could still make 140.
Oh,
if he
he's going to
wanted
make a
to.
statement because Manny just came off the W, Spence with his W, and he's going to let everybody know, okay, the real 147 is back and he's here, and take note.
Yeah, I mean that division is crazy talented.
Oh,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
To
And
unify
fire.
something would be
yeah,
key. That'd
yeah,
be where all the money
and
is.
he's done it at 40, and the talent at 147 is even better than that. And that's really the name of the game right now. It's what Jamel wants to do. If he gets past Lamont Roach Jr. on Saturday, he wants to unify. He wants to fight Burchelt. You know what I mean? There's with 4 belts and now
There's
these
lots of layout
super
potential
duper
there.
belts. Sexy diamond belts and all these other things that are going around.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, I'm not going to speak on too much because I'm still trying to understand.
Yeah, that's a
the
lot.
whole
I'm getting
thing.
confused on that
It's
one.
like, maybe you
on-
can talk to Evan Korn a little bit more
on a certain
about that,
governing
but-
body, right? They're giving you the diamond bout. It's like when you're junior varsity bout, the varsity bout, and 18 bout. I get confused.
Lots of
It's-
belts.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just-
Because exactly,
it-
it's genius as the company, but to the champion, come on, man, let's just go back to the one
mean,
Ali bout.
I mean, look at a kid like Devin Haney who's waited his whole life to
Yeah.
become world champion and fight and have that moment, and then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, you're now elevated to champion because now he's super champion, so you're become world champion, and that's how that happens. And it's like,
It takes some of your takes some
you
of the
know,
shine off.
I'm
of
sure
it.
he's being like
Kenny
politically
Norton was
correct.
awarded the
It's like,
bout. Didn't win the bout by fighting. He was awarded the bout. His
It's
first
like,
defense was
damn.
Larry Holmes,
Yeah.
and that was it.
That's kind of a kick. A little
Do you
bit.
want to
know,
win the
it's
bout,
like,
man? You
as
want
a
to earn
fighter,
it.
I mean, yes,
Well, yeah, I don't even like interim belts. Like I think
You don't want me to
interim
give you a
belts are
belt?
silly.
You don't want me to
should
give you a
either
belt
be
and call you
fighting-
champion? Cole?
No.
and then when this guy
negative.
comes back, like then you have to fight him for that. You're just
Exactly.
the
Like you were
substitute.
just holding on to
Yeah.
the belt
Yeah.
for the title for
You
the
kept
real
everybody
champion.
quiet right now by holding a belt until this guy
Yeah,
comes.
exactly. And that's why I don't like interim belts. It makes no sense. It's like you're either a champion or you're a contender. One of the two. Like that's all there should
Fight
be.
or vacate unless there's
Exactly.
some kind of
They-
injury.
They got
Exactly.
super champion, all these things.
And
so.
say, sorry, dude, you got hurt or something. We got to have a title holder. You can fight him when you come back,
Yeah,
but he's
exactly.
going to fight.
Maybe get into another mandatory position. But
Yeah, and I don't like that coming back and getting belt fights right away either. I can't stand that stuff either. You should have to win a fight, and then that earns you back another.
I can
If
see
you
that.
were the challenger,
Yeah.
and then you lose, you win a fight, that gets you back. In
Well,
the
yeah, you
challenging
should
spot.
probably want to take also like one of those
You
fights
would think
too,
so, but I see so many. It's at least in MMA, we see so many guys that just all of a sudden they get title fight. You know what I mean? Like when Conor comes back in, it'll either be a number one contending spot or it'll just be a title fight.
Is it because of the amount of money that they
yeah,
get paid,
and
like their
that's-
minimums or the draw?
Well, it's the draw that they anticipate him having, but I don't know if his draw is really that high anymore to where he could just
What
do
we
that.
need in boxing is just like MMA, a bad mother bout. Where did that come from? We're inventing bouts now. We're
Yeah.
inventing labeling what
And I
the
don't-
is that
event
like
is.
an actual like sanction, like real?
There was
thing?
no, it wasn't.
No.
Well, it was a sanctioned fight, but
More
it
of a
wasn't really.
pride.
It wasn't
But-
really
right.
considered a ranked final
Okay,
fight.
okay,
It was
that's
just
what I wanted to know. We had to
they
fight
were
the
just
same
they
night,
just
so I
had
didn't-
two really gangster guys,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Who's the baddest mother?" They were going to
Yeah.
find out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they had The Rock present the belts and everything, what I thought was really just odd.
It makes it more of a
Like-
WWE type
Yeah,
thing, right?
it kind of gave it too much
They
of a
left it
fake
open.
feel
Yeah.
kind of thing. I didn't like that.
Nate
but,
was right. Should have had Tyson bring it.
No, Mike Tyson awarding the belt. Now that would have been. That
That'd be
would have
more of
been
an
bad.
honor.
Yeah, that would have been more of an honor
Than
because he was
somebody
a
Hollywood.
bad he was a
yeah, and
bad
we're talking
guy.
about like a legitimate like
Exactly.
fighter.
Combat
you
sport
know?
fighter.
Yeah.
And you know what? When Tyson, he had that post where he had that little dip, that little step to the side. I thought for sure the boxing world would run with it and do the Mike Tyson challenge or something. Try to mimic that move.
Something, man, like a challenge, like a YouTube challenge of some kind.
I mean, he
'Cause
still has
and
that
I've seen him
speed.
move in Instagram videos. I've seen him, and he's just popping back and forth, and I'm like, dude, how?
Some things it's like it never goes like your
Yeah,
body's so
yeah,
trained. It's like
exactly.
those when you train your body with those like fast twitch fibers to like just do something so many times
Yeah.
that it just becomes a natural
Repetition.
Yeah, and he's
inclination
just
for your body to
schooling the
do.
younger
Yeah.
guys because you can see him asking him a question like, okay, well, I move like this. He's like, no. Look, you lean, your weight goes like this, and he just snapped too. He's like, see how much faster that is, and I'm like,
Like you needn't pop out your hip to just
yeah,
pop out of the
dude.
socket.
He
Yeah.
did it with jeans
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah,
and
that white
shoes.
dress shirt and jeans and everything. Yeah,
And
you know what I'm
dress
talking about. He
shoes
just
and
tosses
dress
his
shoes.
jacket on the couch. He's like, no, let me show you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how is he still doing this? He's
Yeah.
a genetic freak
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
insane.
He's just genetically
a cardio
gifted.
freak too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cardio freak, too.
guy go for days.
But I want to talk about this Saturday. I mean,
Saturday.
class act.
It's a
Jamal
chance.
Herring. I mean, going to the Children's Hospital, the vet clinic, and just, I don't know if we got pictures of that. Rick Meridian set something up, man. The man's a genius. Him and Gabriel Flores Jr., they went there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Lee Samuel earlier today. He said, Richard, it was very difficult to what you appreciate your life a little more when you see those are the real fighters out there. We're just all get to commentate and talk about the sweet science of sport that we love and
Daily
follow.
benefits.
They are fighting every single day. And as fighters, they don't get to hear the bell. They don't get to get refreshed and their mouthpiece pulled out and get to rest. They're constantly fighting. The only bell is if they can kick cancer in the ass is finally that victory bell. But sometimes my sister actually works there, and I'll tell you, not to get off subject. She said, Richard, she calls me Mijo, even though, well, she's not that much older than me. She'll say, you don't know what it's like to feed a kid breakfast, and you get ready to feed him lunch and he's not there. Or you feed him dinner and you're getting ready to take care of him and give him breakfast and he's no longer there. They're making his bed and she takes that home with her every day. And when she gives that to me, it's just I appreciate life. I mean, I don't have time for grudges or hating or anything. Life is precious, man. And for them to go and dedicate their time like true warriors and champions and give back, put a smile on their face, it was
That
awesome.
humbleness.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And that's class act what they did. I mean, I'm sure more fighters do that, but we need more fighters doing that.
We do, because for those guys that when they see
Yeah.
guys like that walk in, it tells it's hard to explain, because them knowing how much the boxers go
Yeah.
through and the fighters go through to come in and tell those kids, hey, look, what I do is easy.
Yeah.
And to have somebody of that caliber tell them how strong of a fight they think they're going through, it makes them realize how strong they actually are.
Christina, they're in pain and they're smiling. I mean, they're head from the chemo, but they're smiling. They're happier than me and you. They really are, because they don't worry about the drama. Did I get the new coach purse? Am I going to be able to be at this showcase in time or what have you? The luxuries of life. But they're enjoying life of what they have of it. They're making the most of it. I guess it's fair to say.
Something they
And I
enjoy
just,
came
I
to
really
them.
wanted to touch on that, and just these guys that's a true champion outside of the ring.
Well, that's what it's about. I think when you become a world champion, just like in any other sport, you're an ambassador for that sport.
Yep.
And you want to represent all that sport, has to offer and what that lifestyle, that championship lifestyle is all about. And I mean, there's nobody better, honestly, than what Rick Meridian does here, in Northern California and Fresno in the Central Valley with Jose Ramirez. We did kind of a similar thing at the Children's Hospital last time that I was here with Burchelt. And I mean, I'm a mother, and going to see these guys and walking this room and just like, my heart was just breaking. And these guys, it's heavy. It's
very.
heavy stuff. And they said, these are the real fighters. I mean, the fighters, like, hands down. But to break up what sometimes is the monotony of their, for the fighters, fight week you kind of do the same thing all the time.
Same routine.
So they get to do something different. And then when you're in a hospital, everything's very regimented, the schedule and everything.
Yeah,
So to have a
exactly.
visitor, or
Exactly.
I mean, how many kids get to really touch and hold a real championship belt?
Yeah.
They may not know who these guys are at all. They may have never watched boxing, but they look at, oh my God, the belt, or has this, or
Somebody
you know what I
important
mean?
came to
Something
see
different.
me.
There's some
Yeah.
cameras that like that can uplift their whole spirit, their whole morale. And I mean, I feel like that's what these kids and that's what these people need. And even with Jamel and everything that he stands for, being a veteran, and you're going to see a lot of special stuff on the broadcast that Mark Kriegel has put together about
I'm excited.
everything that Jamel has gone through, about him suffering with PTSD. And he had a roundtable discussion. He went down to the Marine base in San Diego and talked to other veterans and active military about PTSD and who he's fighting for and what. I mean, this guy really is everything that embraces what becoming a champion. He was taking that. He was a champion long before he became
Yeah,
champion in
right.
that sense. But he's
Didn't need a belt to
absolutely
call himself a
embracing
champion.
that role
Yeah.
and just trying to make this world a better place. And there's some really special stuff planned. So you have to tune into ESPN Plus.
Exactly.
Saturday
You're out there. And
night.
also the Fighter's Voice.
I was gonna say, I like that little.
Come on.
You got to do it
Saturday
at the
night
end.
at
That's right.
7:30.
And if you want tickets, subscribe www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice, and it's going to pop up right now, a new subscription. And I'm going to randomly pick somebody. Leave a comment on tonight's show, and I'm doing it again. I made a rookie mistake. He just corrected me.
Have you
again.
been staring
I'm looking
at
at
that
the monitor
monitor the
again.
whole time?
Well, see,
I
it's the
love it.
intimidation thing right here.
Right.
When you have
What
the
did I
first,
do?
when you
Throws
have the
them off.
first lady in boxing
Right?
right here, I was looking at the monitor instead of my camera.
Be like if we had Tito
Exactly.
or Chuck in the studio, we'd be messing up, going, "What? We'll be right back." And they're like,
That's
"Dude,
two
bro, you're
times in
right."
a
You
row.
know?
Hey, you continue to learn as you go.
Yup.
That's what
Yes,
it's
yes,
about.
and we're gonna
That's
give
what
out
it's about.
tickets. Leave
You're giving
a
away
comment with
tickets?
giveaway tickets.
Nice,
Yes.
you guys.
Yes,
You want
yes,
to
we
be
got
there.
to.
You
Yes.
want to be there.
Yes.
Some very special things being planned. Trust me.
Chancey Park. It's gonna be nice out.
Oh yeah,
outside,
it's
the
going to
weather's
be
gonna be
some
great.
awesome ring walks. I'm not going to
Absolutely.
give anything away, but
It will be a
if,
show.
if you can be there, it'll be awesome. You should be there.
Yes.
If you're a boxing fan, and you can be there.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, in the Flores, Team Flores, they promise fireworks
I mean-
right from the start.
I'm excited about Gabe Flores. I know that there's some other prospects that are asking for title shots and all this right away, but I think that their team and his dad and Top Rank and everyone, they know exactly what they're doing with the
Yeah.
kid. He's getting his sponsors. He is building his audience in his hometown.
brand.
He is building the brand. They shoot
has
their
a
own
great
videos
team.
and photos. I mean, they are absolutely doing it right, and they're allowing his skills to come along with that.
Yeah.
He's still young. I mean, God, he was the youngest ever that we
Yeah.
signed at. Was he 16 or
16?
16, I think, when we
16.
signed. Yeah. So it's like all these things of rushing to a title shot. It's like sometimes, like, trust the process. You
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean? And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Timing is
and
everything.
He's
We were
won
talking about
every
that
fight,
earlier
done
about how they're
everything
bringing
right.
him along, the
Yep.
vision they have for
Yep,
him and stuff.
exactly.
So he's clearly meeting what their vision was.
Expectations.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
yes,
here's
yes.
the
Right on
path we saw
schedule.
you on, and you're right on
Yep.
schedule. Let's
Yep.
just keep
And
going.
just
Yeah.
keep it
Exactly.
going. Keep
Exactly.
it going.
Cool.
I want to ask you this. What keeps you hungry? What keeps you excited about boxing?
I mean, for me now, it's just, for me personally, it's the new role that I'm in because I'm learning after, 8, 9 years, I'm learning something new. I'm tackling a new challenge. I'm trying my best to make my niche. And for the sport, I'm seeing guys that I was there from their pro debut. I was there from the day we signed them and did their introduction that are now fighting for world titles. And it's seeing these guys and their
Seeing their
journeys. When I
careers
came
grow.
in, I was covering legendary guys, but I stepped in to when they're on their prime or their latter half of their career. And now I'm with these guys on their journey. And that was great. Like seeing Pacquiao with where he was and seeing, Marquez and Cotto and all these guys that they covered. But now I'm seeing the guys like the Jose Ramirez's and the Shakur Stevensons and the Oscar Valdez and these guys that we've been with for
You
so
could tell
long.
stories. You could be like, I
Shine.
remember when
Yes.
so-and-so
Yes.
dropped him in,
Yes.
Texas or whatever back in 2013 or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember, calling Lomachenko Salido, what happened, and oh my God, such
Yeah.
big, and now what he's done. Like being there from the beginning for me, that keeps because I feel like I'm on this journey with all these guys,
Yeah.
and I'm making steps, they're making steps. So, and there's some really great fights still to be made,
Yeah.
and getting closer and closer to some of those is also keeps me going and excited.
When do you see Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor taking place?
Oh my gosh.
And where do you see it? Can you see it in the UK?
I mean, I could. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I think it'd be great for Jose.
Yeah.
The global
We are,
exposure.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
We already know what he can do here.
Absolutely.
So, and I think even for Regis, like I think he even in a quote unquote losing effort, you know,
Yeah.
he still gained and won.
Oh, he did.
so much from going over there. I feel like
It
because
took a lot
of,
of. I got to give him some credit for just going there.
I'm telling you.
And just doing. He could have stood his ground and said, "No, I'm fighting here in the States somewhere. Let's compromise or what have you." No, he went all the way down there.
Yeah. So I could see him doing that, and I'm excited for that fight. I think
I
it's
like
a really
Regis.
good fight. I mean, I like him too.
I like it, especially that he had a TV spot and he was wearing the Fighter's Voice shirt.
Was he?
Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
cool, man. He
Fantastic.
kept it real, man.
Yeah,
He did.
He's a
Nice
good
guy too.
Good guy.
Him and his
that's the
kids.
guy that's worked his way on his own, pounding on doors and things like
Yeah.
that. So
Self-promoted, self-made, yeah.
kudos to him and seeing guys like that, rise to the occasion and get opportunities.
Speaking of Jose, I don't got a picture of it, but he bought a new red Spider today. Yeah, he was
You're talking about
posting
the
it.
car?
Yeah, the car, the Ferrari. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
no, I didn't
Awesome.
see it,
Oh my
no.
gosh, yeah.
He
was
deserves-
posting it.
he deserves
does.
everything.
We were just talking about that.
And what's great about Jose is he's probably hasn't even spent his fight money. He's spending like
I hope not.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a uber millionaire or whatever,
Yeah.
but he's still the way Rick and his team and all the things
Yeah.
that he does. Like
very methodical.
He's one of those that's smart about it, and he makes his money from doing other things too. And he's like, becoming like the little mayor, the ambassador over here. He's
Actually,
like,
he
every
is,
time
the
we have
spokesperson.
I'm telling you.
And I told him that at the airport when he first won the WBC bout. I said, "You're our voice. You're our mouthpiece."
Yeah, he
I said,
is.
"Are you ready for that?"
Yeah.
And it's on that interview too.
You're
And he goes,
so
"Yeah, I
right.
am."
You're
and,
so
and-
right.
and he is.
Yep.
I mean, he gets to speak for us as.
He's coming to the press conference tomorrow. He's not even fighting on the card.
Yeah, we have a champion in our area, a world champion.
Yeah, he's like, on behalf of this, I'd like to welcome everybody. You
So
know, it's
speaking
just-
of
the
winning
Yeah.
Okay.
bout after title, what's the next title you're after
me,
in your career? What would you like to accomplish?
Like, where do you go from head of commentary for Top Rank Boxing? Like, where do
I
you
mean,
go
I think the next step would be to do it on, in a television role.
Pay-per-view.
ESPN Plus has been
Yeah.
phenomenal. Even our lead roles, we have a lot of fights on ESPN Plus, but I think to be able to do lead, commentary on, the main portion
Right.
of a domestic card, maybe that. But my ultimate goal is to make it to the Hall of Fame.
Awesome. It's going to happen.
I think if I stay in the sport long enough and continue to make strides, and there are
You know what you're going to do? You
broadcasters
know what
and-
you're going to do for the American woman? Like people like my daughter and my granddaughter? Open doors. Sky's the limit.
that's-
Anything is freaking possible in
That's
this
right.
world. It's not, I'm tired of hearing it 60-40. No, it's not. It's 50-50.
I think that
I know how to wash clothes and fold clothes too. I know
Yeah.
how to wash dishes, and I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason and the encouragement of, in particular, my husband with taking this role is like, it's not just about you. You can't just do
Exactly.
You can't just do this because of you. You got to do this for the little girl that's watching boxing with her dad and her brother. It's like, wait, Papa, is that a
Yeah,
is that a
what is
you know
she
what I mean?
doing?
What is
Yeah.
she doing? Because I didn't have that. So
Yeah.
that's probably part of the reason why I never saw myself in this role, because I didn't.
You never got
I
to
never
see it.
actually
Yeah.
see it. I never saw it happen. So that's a big part of it too. Moving that needle, busting through those ceilings,
Becoming
and
a face of
letting people know
something new.
it can
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
It can. And I give credit to Claudia Trejos because she was the first to ever do it.
Yeah.
And being able to be the second and the only one currently matters to me, not just for me personally, but
Yeah.
because it means we are pushing the needle more. We are making
Your ball
strides.
is
Good job.
NFL has done it. NBA has done it.
Mm.
I don't know if NHL has, but other sports have. MLB has had a woman play-by-play and
Mm-hmm.
lead commentator. So we are
Evolving the sport.
getting
as a whole.
involved with all
Yeah.
those other sports on that same level.
Well, I can see that happening. I'm sure you
Thank
see
you.
it happening too. You do.
Thank
It's
you.
just you continue to do what you do.
Thank you so much.
Your teams notice, the world is going to notice, and you're going to get what you ask for. I mean,
Gotta put it out in the atmosphere, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
If you can't put it out there, it won't get
Yeah,
seen.
like speak
Claim
it into
man.
existence,
Exactly.
like Hall of Fame goals
Hey,
one
man,
day.
we call things if they're not as if they are.
That's what
we
it
really
is.
do.
That's what
yeah,
it
and that's
is.
biblical, man.
I love it.
That's biblical.
Well, we appreciate you coming down. I know you guys are
Absolutely.
super busy with Fight Week, so thank you for your time. We
Well, thank
we
you
really
so
appreciate it. It's
much.
always it's
Thank
always
you.
knowledgeable when you come in. We always get to learn more about like that perspective
Yeah.
of the sport, like how you said, seeing guys start their career out, grow them from there, and being able to say, now I can say, oh, I remember when he dropped Herman or whatever with a right hand back in 15, and now he just dropped Marquez with that same right. So I like that. It's cool. It's a cool little knowledge of the sport too, because you have knowledge now of not just boxing itself, but boxers. Like you can carry that over into other aspects
business.
of it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that
exactly.
just comes with time and experience, and there's no substitute for that.
Exactly.
Whatsoever. You can't cheat that.
No.
No, but there is another side to it. There's a PR side that goes along with Top Rank.
Oh, there is.
And
Yes.
we've got some of that PR here.
Yeah, we're gonna have them just come and join the show right now. But I gotta ask her an important question, man. And I know and I'm gonna put you on the spot. But it's an easy answer. What's
I
the
was like,
hottest?
These
what's
hotspot
happening? My heart's
questions are always
boom,
easy.
What
boom,
is
boom.
the hottest podcast in this area?
It's the fighter's voice. You have to ask
Ah,
me
see,
that.
you're gonna ask
You
me a
should
hard
already-
question.
You should
All
already
day
know.
long.
You
Yes,
should
ma'am.
already
Yes,
know.
ma'am. We got to get you a shirt. We got to get her shirt and let her rep. Like
I
Regis was
appreciate you
repping.
guys.
Yeah, he was.
He was repping.
Easy
My
repping.
man. My
Candid
man.
That's
repping.
great. That's
Yeah,
great. I love what you
yeah, it
guys do.
was.
I appreciate you
How can we
calling
follow
on
you?
me and having me here.
Absolutely.
At Christina Poncher.
And I know last
on-
time you were tied up, you were busy, but there's not going to be a time in this area that I'm not going to ask.
Thank
Just know when
you.
you head to this area, you're going to get that text or that email.
Thank you. Sometimes I have my kid and my mom on the road with me sometimes, so that makes it a little bit more challenging.
But that was good. You brought mom and your baby last time.
I do. I travel with my son quite a bit, so that's for a whole nother show because that's like
Yeah.
a working mom. It's a handful, but
That could literally be your ESPN segment when you move your commentary up a level.
it's crazy.
The working mom.
it's crazy. he's like up at 5:45 in the morning. It's just it just doesn't. It's nonstop.
It's on his
He doesn't
schedule.
care that I have to leave or I'm getting ready for a fight. Yeah,
I don't miss those days.
the damn time change. Whoever thought about this? Anyways, you guys got to get to Evan Korn. He is a boxing encyclopedia.
Yeah.
He is a fight freak to the core, and he's an amazing publicist. And he's made quite a difference at Top Rank. And we're so lucky to have him. And I pick his brain all the time. Evan, what do you think about this guy? I mean, I'm talking like 10 guys deep on the undercard, and he'll be like, he did this, isn't it? Like off the top of his dome.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for you guys to have him and.
Oh,
They
we
don't
are
always
too.
want to be on and in front, so this is for him to say
We're gonna
yes
take
to
advantage
sitting
of it,
here.
yeah.
Oh, well,
Like,
I was-
but
I was
don't
pretty
make him not
persistent.
ever want to come back because
No,
usually
no, we'll do it
they're
right.
helping us to do this.
do it right.
Not
We're going
not
to take
getting
a
the shine.
quick 30-second break. We're going to close down right here. We're going to shut the mics. We're going to welcome our next guest. But I want to thank the beautiful, the lovely, the one, the only, and the future Hall of Famer.
Oh, that sounds great.
It does sound
I
great,
raised the
right?
hand right there so you can slam dunk the name, my man.
does sound
Awesome.
great.
That's awesome.
It does,
Thank you
Christina.
I was
so
trying
much.
to see what happened to Max.
Oh, yeah. Well, Max is that long story. We had a guest earlier, Max Payne Griffin, UFC fighter.
Okay.
And he was AWOL today.
Yeah, we had a communication gap. That's what happened.
That's what it was.
Oh, I'm
communication
like,
gap.
you mean legit?
No, this was
Oh.
earlier.
No,
earlier,
like,
earlier.
yeah,
I was like,
on
we
the
got a
other-
veteran
no,
coming
no,
up on the
no.
card. You
No,
say, hey,
no,
well, I'm
no,
going
no,
in a
no, no,
completely different
earlier
direction.
podcast show.
Okay.
Earlier show. That was a booking. But no, appreciate
Thank
you
you guys
stopping
so
by.
much.
You're always welcome.
Thank
and
you.
enjoy the
thank
next
you, Richie.
segment.
Appreciate it.
Be right back,
Absolutely.
guys.
Hi, I'm Jana Uribe, and I am with the Fighters
The
Voice.
Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
What's up, guys? Daniel Cormier. I'm with the Fighter's Voice radio show.
They're more than just a voice. The Fighter's Voice. Knocking out the competition. The Fighter's Voice.
You want to move it?
A little bit. What are you doing there, jabbing? Ladies and gentlemen, we're back here. The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters, and we're simply knocking out the competition. And speaking of knocking out the competition, we have a guest that just knocks everybody out of the industry and head of media relations, the director from Top Rank Boxing, Mr. Evan Korn on the Cob, bringing it live here in
I've
Fresno,
never heard that one before,
California.
Richie, thank you. That was, all through elementary school, nobody ever called me corn on the cob, so you're the first.
I'm not,
Well,
I
we're just-
almost smell sarcasm. I almost,
Yeah, nobody's ever-
No, there
Yeah.
wasn't no sarcasm at all.
Are you gonna try corn dog next? Because I've
No,
never
the
heard
man
that.
is who he says he is. He is badass, man. I mean, you can loosen up here with my man right here. You
Oh,
can.
nice.
Richie, it's
Yes,
a
you can.
pleasure, Richie, and no, it's part of the joy of coming to Fresno. Is always hanging out with you guys and press conferences and stuff. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Fight week's different sometimes, man, than the day-to-day job, I would imagine.
You know what the funny thing is, fight week's kind of often the same as staying in the office because you have fight week, but then you're working on 5 other events because we have 30 shows a year, and so we have Herring Roach Fight Week, but we're working on
Promoting
Crawford,
the upcoming-
the
yeah.
Crawford Comey Conlon card at the Garden, and other upcoming announcements
Yeah.
and fighter signings. So it never stops, which is an indication that the company is healthy and
It is
thriving,
healthy.
and so the day when I'm sort of twiddling my thumbs doing nothing is the day when I'm going to start worrying, and that has
Yeah,
not
because you'd be
that's
wondering
not
why
happened
isn't there
in-
matches to be made? Why isn't there promotions?
yeah,
But I
Well-
see you in action. You're literally sometimes you're either on the laptop or walking around with a laptop like it's a football in your arms, and you're just going
Well,
back
that's why I
and
do
forth.
that rather than fight because
Constantly moving.
I don't think that would be.
You don't want to get punched in the face for a living?
No,
It's
no,
awesome.
I leave that to the real warriors that we deal with.
Well, speaking of real warriors, tell us about your staff because they move and they take care of business just like you do. I see everybody moving. I see guys in ties and suits moving constantly. They're just not sitting around.
Yeah, no, it's really. I'd like to think it's a well-oiled machine, and even when it's not, I think we do a good job of making it seem that way. You have Lee, who's always making sure the fighters are where they need to
Right.
be. The Hall of Fame.
Lee's a
publicist.
fighter.
It's I could go into everybody's roles, but special shout out to Lee Samuels, one of only 2 publicists
Hall of
in
Famer,
Boxing Hall
yes.
of Fame. I remember my first day on the job, he took me out for coffee, and he's talking about spending weeks in training camp in Palm Springs with Marvin Hagler, and he just really is sort of the epitome of patience and how to deal with the media, and sometimes it can get frustrating, but I always think, what would Lee do? And I can say I'm not always as even-keeled and calm as Lee Samuels, but I try to be.
What are the difficulties you have to deal with when you deal with the media, and how do you iron it out?
Honestly, most of the media is really cool to deal with. And even when
Is there always that guy?
No, in terms of the people that in the media, the Dan Rayfields and Kevin Iolis and Keith Idix, they're all very professional, and sometimes Dan will write something, you have a difference of opinion, but I'm not going to go nuclear on somebody because they have a difference of opinion or because they write something I don't agree with. That's the nature of the job. It's part of the gig. So, I think one of the things that, since I've joined Top Rank, not to get too far into the weeds, is just people acting professional on press row. I don't like cheering. I don't like people, I see people getting autographs. Like, if you're here to cover a fight, cover the fight. Don't be a fanboy.
Fanboy, I was going to say,
So that sort of stuff I try to crack down on.
Utilize the
I'm glad you
opportunity you're
do.
giving
I'm
them.
glad you do.
I mean, and listen, and there's still improvements to make there. I'm not perfect at it, but something I try to.
Hey, at the end of the day, you got to spit out that content. That's
Well,
why you're there.
I think in boxing media, a lot of times people get away with stuff they would never get away with in other sports. And so there's a balancing act. You don't want to be a hard ass, but at the same time, you want to maintain a level of professionalism on press row, and it's sort of at your events. So it's something you deal with, and you just try your best.
It's brand protection.
It's not even brand, but it's just not a good look.
Yeah.
No, it's
For
not.
media,
If
really,
you
yeah.
see media right there, and they're just not even paying attention, they're chowing down on some nachos and keep getting up there because they've been invited to the VIP, and they keep bringing up all this freaking food and taking
and it's
pictures.
also, I don't want them. You have people like Dan Rayfield, and they've got to write a 1,200-word story in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They don't have time for people jerking around on press row, not doing actual work, distracting people. So
I've seen
you
that.
try to make it a comfortable working environment for the people who are on deadline. Because I've been there before as a journalist. That's a tough job.
It is.
It's got to be on the fly pressure.
I've seen Lee Samuels in action, and when he'll let you know if he sees something he doesn't agree with, man, that tiger will come
Lee
out of him.
Samuels is the sweetest man.
Yes,
People say the nicest guy in boxing. No, he's like the nicest guy I've ever met. Period.
but
Lee can let you have it. And when Lee lets people have it, people go, "Whoa, Lee." Then they know they've messed up.
There was
when
no
Lee-
middle ground.
Yeah,
They know
when
they
the nice
messed up when
guy's
Lee
mad,
Samuels
yeah.
gets mad. That's for sure.
No, I've seen him in action.
Yeah, but there's a couple dealers that we've had at the casino that were like that. They were very collect, calm, nice,
Right.
and then you see them go off one day, and everybody's like, "Where did that come from?" Like nobody's ever seen that side of you before, and that's when you know they're very, very upset. So I can understand that. He's calm.
My man's all business right now. I really want to ask you, what's it like a normal day, the day of the fight, and when do you get to say, okay,
The day of the fight, it's. That's the most fun, man. It depends on the magnitude of the fight, how much media is there. So I can't really say what's a typical fight day like. But I get there for the first bell. Get quotes for the media. If media needs to go backstage, you escort them backstage, and then you send out the photos and a little short recap after the fight, and then you go back to the hotel, and it's like you can finally breathe. But like last week, there was other boxing on, so I went back to the hotel,
Just started
got
working
some
on the
frozen
next
yogurt, and I
project.
watched the Canelo Coppola fight.
what'd you think of that fight?
Until the knockout, it was a very pedestrian fight.
Yeah,
And
it seemed like they were a little.
I like the game plan
point
going in,
gaming.
but I was waiting for
Well,
Kovalev to let his hands go.
Kovalev has, I think, the best jab of the modern generation, and he was sort of just pawing for 10 rounds. And he was piling up points because Canelo wasn't doing much either.
Well, we were talking about that yesterday about how we
Yeah.
thought he was not gun shy, but knowing that if he overcommitted full commitment,
The counter
Canelo
was
was going to
gonna-
counter so much easier if he missed.
I mean, I guess part of it's age, part of it maybe he's had stamina issues, and maybe he was trying to
Pacing him, I was thinking
trying
that
to preserve
too.
himself,
but
it-
somewhere down the line, you got to let that right hand go. You're in the biggest fight of your life.
It was a weird fight. I was actually so tired from fight night during rounds 5 through 7, I dozed off a little bit.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, woke up in round 8 and was
That's
so-
what round 8. That's
Broke
when it's
it
a
around
little
Did you
slow.
finish your yogurt though?
Of course.
Okay.
The order was done by the ring.
Oh, that's a
so.
wrap.
But no, that's the.
No,
they're safe for the
I
taste
went
of
back
it.
and rewatched it afterwards. But listen, it wasn't. Not all mega fights are going to be
Live up to
Standing
Castillo
up, yeah.
Corrales. Some of our fights are more tactical.
Tell us about a mega fight that Top Rank is working on. Some of the names, just some of the ideas. What can the fans look forward to in
what the fans-
2020?
Well, listen, what I can say on air is what the fans know is that hopefully Wilder Fury happens in early February 22nd. Is what Tyson Fury said on ESPN and is what he's been saying. So that's the big one.
Isn't that a cool nickname, the Gypsy King?
I mean,
That
but
is
it's
an awesome
a
nickname.
nickname that's true. He's king of the gypsies. That's
Yeah.
So
It's like watching Lock, Stock with Brad Pitt. That one where he was like king of the Pikes or something like that.
No,
That's what
yeah,
it
well,
was.
it's called
that's
snatch.
see that's a word that that's sort of only travelers can say
Yeah.
that particular word. So don't say that word around a traveler.
No,
Well,
yeah, that's like their
that's-
term for.
That's
like,
their bad word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like their term. It's like you're not one of us. You can't really say that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
he's something, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love his testimony though, and what he's overcome, and where he's at now, and where he's going.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's a real thing. I mean, I think maybe people doubt its authenticity because he's such a showman. So they think he's putting on an act, but he's really fully committed to sort of spreading the word on mental health. And it's funny, I don't even think he has a high school education. My father's been a therapist for 40 years, and he saw an interview we did with Rich Eisen, and he goes, this guy would be an incredible motivational speaker. Like he thought he had, he didn't know, if he didn't know any better, he would have thought he had a doctorate or something. I mean, he's that
Articulated.
special and I tell people that I don't know how long I'll have the job. I don't know how long I'll be in boxing, but I can rest assured that I will never run across another athlete like Tyson Fury. I never have before. You never will after. I mean, he's a once in a career, once in a lifetime personality. It's giving Bob Arum extra vigor. I mean,
That's right.
As long as Tyson goes, Bob will be there. That's for sure.
Well, he's exciting.
Wasn't he talking about
definitely is.
crossing over? What wasn't he saying that he
Oh,
wanted?
well,
to-
he done some WWE stuff, yeah, but
He did the WWE. He was talking about MMA. Listen,
Yeah,
he
he's trying to
knows.
cross
How to,
over.
yes.
He knows how
Okay,
to
yeah,
make
the
headlines.
MMA.
I mean,
Oh
it's-
yeah, with Connor, yeah.
you
No.
No, he was going to have Connor train him, is what I was
Well, he's
hearing.
gonna have Connor train him for a fight with like
Not
Nagano.
fight,
or
See, this is
something.
why he does that, because you guys talk about it. And,
Well,
and because,
exactly.
because the Daily Mail will run a big headline saying Tyson Fury will go in MMA. He's an
Yeah,
absolute genius.
I don't see that
It's-
happening. That's
For
for publicity. It's for interest.
it's how many
it's for
times
talk.
does Floyd tease at a comeback? And maybe he will, but it's like, because if he knows if he teases at a comeback, you guys will talk about it.
Well, we
Yeah.
have to, man. I mean,
We kinda- yeah, we have to.
we also talk about Evan because Evan's the freaking man. He makes it happen. Even though I text him and I'll get a text like maybe 4 days later, hey, yeah, Rich, how's it going? And I'm like, but I understand you're busy.
But
my
the
man.
text will just say good afternoon, and I feel like it's.
Don't say that to Rick because Rick will get mad
There's
too.
where's the question? I'm like,
I'm trying to break the ice, man.
Do I say good afternoon back? I don't,
okay. I'm just gonna
If
say,
you come
hey,
with what's up, then I can tell you.
I am. I'm going to. I'm gonna say, you know what? What does it take?
But what
to get
happens? No, you sometimes people text, and then like what will happen is I'll get called in a fire drill, and then I'll forget about it, and then 3 days later I'll be looking through my text like, oh man, I forgot to text back Richie. So.
No,
I'll
okay.
be better. I'll do better.
Okay, and
Rich's good afternoon is a. What's going on, Evan? What can you tell me?
It's-
What kind of news you got for me?
I'll break in the ice, man.
My suspicion is I kind of feel like he's sending out a good afternoon blast to every single person on his phone.
No.
that's what what I'm thinking.
No,
So
no, I'm very selective.
Stand corrected.
My next was going to say, what does it take to get Tyson Fury to call in the fighter's voice?
Well, now he's in England, so he's probably not up.
I'm not mean right now.
It's 3. It's
I like
3 a.m.
I like where his answer was
Yeah,
at. There. It's
yeah.
like, I mean, I don't.
I mean, the time.
I don't mean right now this minute, but it would be nice to have
listen,
5 minutes or 10 minutes.
I think what it would take is him being in Vegas, me being next to him, and me sort of putting the phone to
There
his
you go.
ear.
I think that's what it's going to
I
be.
think that's what it would take.
So
To be honest,
my,
you
my
speak him
next
up so
text
much,
is
it's like his
just to say hi.
personality.
Say, hey, are you in Vegas? Is Tyson next to you?
Yeah, that's going to be every
Is Tyson gonna-
every week from here on out.
Yeah.
Maybe during the promotion he'll be in Vegas for the promotion for the if and when the Wilder fight.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, the boxing side alone. I mean, you just make him sound like such an interesting person alone to want to.
Listen, I don't make him. He
dissect
makes
his brain.
himself sound like that. It's it's not just me working on Tyson's publicity. We have a great publicist over in the UK who sort of handles that side, and It's sort of like you just put the ball on the tee and he'll knock it out of the park. Sorry for the bad reference, but sorry for the cliche reference, but that's true.
Sometimes honesty is the best
he
policy.
he makes your job as a publicist a
Listen,
lot
man,
easier.
listen. He'll have a cup of coffee with no sugar. When he gives it to you, it's sweet.
He's
Trust me.
he's you
It
know
is. I
like
it.
it.
Is.
but he keeps you on your toes because he's very unpredictable. We were doing media tour. Just phone calls, and I had to be like, had an interview with the Associated Press. I go, Tyson, you got to sort of play this one straight. The Associated Press is going to be
Freddie
everything.
Roach called him a genius.
In many ways, yeah. I mean, it goes to show you don't have to be college educated. You don't have to have gone to Oxford to be a genius. He's a genius in his own way. He's, I guess, the way he fights people, the way a guy like him or Lomachenko or Crawford fight, that's a genius in its own way. And the way he markets himself is genius.
The way he markets and carries himself, the way he displays his brand, how he gets his image out there.
He knows he's savvy. I don't think people give him enough credit for that.
Well, I mean, like you said, we were talking about him just based on one hypothetical idea that he put out there as it was, and we were already talking about it. and he knows
Exactly.
it.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, exactly.
We were talking
He
about
just
that. The minute he said, I'm going to cross
that
over to
name.
MMA. That's all he has to do is anything that he mentions right now. He could say, I'll be going to Disneyland because there's this new ride. You got to try this ride. Everybody's going to go down there, and they want to
frozen
know why
yogurt's
they want to
awesome.
try. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's enjoying those Top Rank ESPN paychecks.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to ask you, how excited were you when he signed with Top Rank?
Well,
and how long were you working on that deal?
Well, do you have time for a quick story?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Well, so when it comes to making the deal, I don't know how long that's a question for the Bob Arams and the Todd DeBuffs of the world. I mean, I'm much lower on the totem pole.
It's not what I hear, though. Not what I hear.
But what's funny was when the signing was happening, I got an email or phone call from Brad Jacobs, our COO, saying, "Huge announcement. We're signing Tyson Fury. Tell nobody. Don't even tell your coworkers. Don't tell." Usually usually I can tell the great Gardy Lopez, who handles our Hispanic PR, social media. No, don't tell anybody, and get a draft ready, and so that was I was in Hinckley, Minnesota for a Rob Brandt fight in the airport. So that was Tuesday. So we announced it the following Monday, and I probably a half dozen people at the company knew: Bob, Todd, Brad, our counsel Harrison. And a couple other people, so maybe 6 people, and
That's pretty close to the vest.
And so we announced it at about 7 a.m. Eastern on Monday, and so I was up at 4 a.m. making sure the press release went out, and then ESPN, he did a press conference, and the best thing was when the reporters were the guys like Mike Coppinger who break everything, and Dan Rayfield, I think it was Dan told me that he goes, I thought it was like some weird spam when I got near Top Rank Tyson Fury. And so the fact, in this day and age, it's so hard to keep anything from the
leaking,
media.
yeah.
So for us to be
TMZ.
able to TMZ doesn't really break boxing news, but from the Ioli's or the Coppingers and Keith Idicks of the world,
They're always going to find out.
Always, because there's, especially when a big fight happens, you have the promoters, and then you have the fighters, and they have managers, and they have people, and there's 25 different avenues for news to get out. For that not to get out from Top Rank side or Tyson's side or the Frank Warren.
Yeah, just his camp alone.
Or
Somebody
Frank
knowing,
Warren, our co-promoter with Tyson, that nobody let it out was such a shock. So to pull the wool over on Coppinger's eyes, for once was a nice feather in our cap. But it was crazy. I was so worried somebody would find out. And I was talking to Coppinger a few days before it came out. He's like, I hear rumors about this big thing. It turned out not to be the Tyson Fury signing, but I think he was trying to fish for some information.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to hear something like, oh
he was trying
yeah,
to fish
there's
for-
something coming.
So I was like, so at that
He's
point,
going with the flow. He knew something was moving around.
so but it ended up not being. I forget what it was. Ended up not being Tyson Fury, but I was freaking out.
You thought somebody knew already. You were like,
Well, I was obsessed. I was that whole weekend. I was checking, Twitter, Tyson Fury,
media.
latest. I was every single day, and then I probably got an hour's sleep that Sunday night, and then I woke up at 2 a.m. and I'm checking every.
probably even had a denial speech ready. Like, no, we
did.
didn't sign him.
If somebody breaks it, then you just
You just
say
kinda
nothing.
roll
Put a
with it
picture
at
of
that
him
Say
with a
nothing and
top
then you
rank
announce
shirt on,
Yeah.
So that was definitely that was
That'd
the
be
fun,
something, right?
That was the fun part. That's the fun part of the job. So you have this huge information and you can't really tell anybody. And
How hard is that?
that's not hard.
It's like being the doctor of a gender reveal.
No, that's
and it's like your sister, and you're like, I already know.
When your boss says, Evan, do not tell anybody,
Yeah.
it's not hard at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to tell people, but
Yeah.
you realize
People's, I mean,
for job security purposes,
they'll
you should
they'll
not.
dig and dig and dig. You know, I'll bump into some people and they want to dig.
With Fury signing with Top Rank and ESPN, like nobody was even like thinking.
Suspecting?
Yeah, because at that point, if you remember, it was the Wilder rematch is going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I can't speak for the people on the others who deal with Deontay Wilder, but I don't think they suspected it. I think it caught Deontay's team off.
I remember Lee Samuels was on the show 3 weeks before, and he said, "We're looking for heavyweights." That's all he said. And they're always looking for heavyweights. So I was kind of thinking, he didn't hint or anything.
I don't.
Know if he knew
at that point, 3 weeks before the signing,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't think Lee knew at that point. If anybody knew, that was I know Todd DeBuff has said that he really wanted Tyson after hearing him on Joe Rogan's show when he was promoting the first Deontay Wilder fight. He goes, we have to have this guy, and I think that's when the wheels started turning. And there's a lot more stuff.
Great fight.
There's a lot more stuff behind the scenes. But again, it was a good fight, and then the 12th round sort of makes it
when he gets
classic.
up.
Yeah, I was.
Gosh, that is Undertaker-like.
Yeah, I was in a movie theater in Las Vegas watching it because they do the Fathom events stuff, and so I was watching on a 20-foot screen, and it was I thought, and this was before Tyson Fury was a Top Rank fighter. I thought that was a clear Tyson, even with the 2 knockdowns.
Definitely.
Not only was it a clear victory, it wasn't close. I had him winning 9 rounds.
Just unanimous.
I had it 8-4.
I thought I mean, so you had a 2 point. You had a 2 point fight. I thought it was a boxing lesson of the highest order. At the end of the day, give credit to Wilder because if Tyson stays on his feet,
I gave Wilder
wins
the close rounds. That's me giving him the close rounds is when I still had it. Tyson clearly won the fight.
Yeah, it was a boxing lesson, but
Absolutely.
give credit to Wilder for landing the Sunday punch in the 12th round. I mean, he's
always dangerous.
A lot of people underestimated him early in his career because he was match soft early on. I mean, he had about 35 soft touches before about 30 soft touches.
He commits like no other on that right hand.
Because when you have faith in that, man.
Overly commits at times,
and the one thing that
Wilder's
Wilder's shown is that he can take a punch. Because early in his career, he got knocked down by a guy named Harold Sconiers on a club show in California.
King Kong had him wobbly too.
Well, I mean, King Kong, Luis Ortiz is a world-class puncher. But he was knocked down by a guy named Harold Sconiers. And I don't think there's video of that exists anywhere. I've looked. People have looked. I know Steve Kim and Doug Fisher.
So you've been looking to this day? You've been looking?
I'm about to take off the headset. I think I believe Steve Kim and Doug Fisher were there ringside and they could tell you about it. But it's the only thing you can find about that fight. There's I think a Getty Images photo of Wilder on the seat of his pants. But ever since then, he's shown. I mean, to get to take what he took from Luis Ortiz and to come back and knock him out showed. I mean, he's a fighter, man.
Yeah, definitely. Because
walking monster is what he is.
Ortiz had his moments and was actually going to have that ultimate moment, but Wilder just that tenacity, that heart, and that will, and to put himself back into that box to take a punch to give a punch.
Nobody knows how old Luis Ortiz. Not to take anything away from what Wilder did, but Luis Ortiz was, late 30s, but we don't know how old he truly is.
On his age.
He wasn't able.
40.
Could be 46 for all we know. I mean, nobody knows. But so I think his gas tank ran on empty a little earlier, and so wasn't able to potentially finish it off. But full credit to Wilder. I think hopefully he comes through the rematch November 23rd, and then we can get on to the rematch.
Because there's no guarantees. I mean, he's taking on a tough rematch.
Listen, when Tyson did the WWE stuff, my heart was in my throat, not because of any, but the cut opening up, and you were noticing they were like, it looked like they were going away from the side of, I think he was cutting this side, so they're going to this side, and so my heart was in my throat watching the WWE stuff. But I think he's great for his branding, that's a combat sports audience in a way. You have people who are into that
entertainment sport audience. Yeah.
So they might be into boxing.
And if you can, even if he only drags like 200,000 or 300,000 new viewers over with him because of it, any new fans is new
exactly.
fans,
He's gonna pull some. He's a likable guy, man. He comes. He's a showman. Plain and simple, period. And he showed the will, and he did what he needed to do in his last fight.
I think with the marketing power of ESPN, and then it looks like Fox would be the secondary broadcaster, but
Yeah.
you put ESPN and Fox together, we haven't seen a pay-per-view with that dual firepower, so to speak. So it would be interesting to see how that manifests itself in terms of pay-per-view buzz.
Well, let's talk about Saturday. Let's talk about this Saturday. Let's talk about the main event. First of all, let's talk about the co-main event.
Kubrat Pulev.
Gabriel, one of the featured fights, I'll say Gabriel Flores Jr.
Yes. I think Brad Goodman and Bruce Trampler do an expert job of matchmaking, and Gabe's a perfect example because, there are very few guys who at 19, 20 years old are ready for world title shots. Felix Trinidad and Wilfred Benitez has come around once
every decade.
Once a decade or so, and the improvement Gabe's made in even the last year, sitting down his punches, seeing how his body's filling out, it's been stark and
his maturity level too at that young.
Yeah, he has a lot on his shoulders in Stockton. He had 10,000 people at the Stockton Arena, which a lot of the credit has to go to Rick Merigian, who can drive us all a little nuts sometimes. I'll be the first to admit, but he is the best at what he does.
Yeah, by far.
Well, that's a good team. Flores Sr. too. I mean, he sleeps with one eye open. He's constantly moving.
No, he does.
Constantly
and Ellie
thinking.
Mosquito, the guy's fighting, has been on a couple of our shows before. Always gives a good effort. So I'm certainly looking forward to what he'll bring. And Kubrat Pulev, if he wins this, will probably fight for heavyweight title next, possibly the winner of Joshua Ruiz. So that'll be interesting. And Jamel Herring Lamont Roach, I think that has a chance to be a tactical fight maybe early on. I think it'll heat up in the later rounds, but it could be a very competitive fight.
No, it is. Nothing's given to Herring. He's gonna have to earn this one. He's not.
No,
getting
Lamont
that.
Roach is a good.
He'll put a good account of himself.
Lamont Roach is a good is a very good fighter, and I think it has a potential to be a very close fight.
It does. Great matchmaking, man.
Well, but that was WBO. That was mandatory challengers. That wasn't even a match. That's not a match. Jamal's got to take that.
It still falls right there. I mean, everything is going for Jamal going into this fight. I mean, he is the A side definitely to this fight, and what he's bringing and what he's doing, and that's a lot of the promotion from Rick Merigian and just thinking outside of the box. I mean, he's already putting together fights that haven't even been matched up yet here in this valley.
Rick, listen, I think as Christina alluded to, we can't let the cat out of the bag. But what Rick is doing, I mean, when he comes to promoting an event, he's 360, thinks of every possible angle, and no idea is too crazy for him. So when it comes to the promotion for this event, what's going on in the Central Valley with all the billboards and everything, that's nothing. That's all Rick Merigian and what he's doing. So I think you guys will be in for a treat. That's all I can say.
Rick's always got fun tricks up his sleeves when it comes to the entertainment side and how to really put a product out there. So,
but it's I think what's been lost a lot in boxing in modern times is sort of this era is the local promotion. I mean, Jose Ramirez being from Avenal is not going to put 14,000 people in the Save Mart Center like that. You can't just it helps. Listen, Fresno is what I call a AAA market.
Testing market, just like you were talking
about.
It's
some of the biggest local draws in boxing. Terrence Crawford from Omaha, that's a mid-sized city. Gabe Flores is from Stockton, has a high A baseball team. It's harder to have a footprint in a city like LA.
Yeah,
because you have
such a large populace.
7-8 pro sports teams: USC, UCLA. You got LAFC, two MLS. I mean,
too much competition for sports.
Too much competition, but when you're in Omaha, I mean, he's quite possibly on the Mount Rushmore of greatest athletes ever from Nebraska. That means something. Gabe Flores. How many people from Stockton? Stockton has a boxing history, but Gabe has
the youngest and his potential.
You'll see a lot of us 209 Stockton tomorrow, Saturday.
Yes, you will.
Definitely will.
But you know what? But from the moment, even before Jose turned pro, Rick was marketing Jose as not just Fresno, not just Avenal, but the Central Valley's hero, and it helps when you have pretty much all of our fighters are good people by and large, but Jose is sort of. He's a unique breed. Yeah, he really is.
That's that upbringing. That's a whole journey, and that's a whole story in itself. His upbringing
he'll be
from
city
his father.
Or mayor
yes, he will too.
Senate
and his brother Luis will be managing as well.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah, so
capacity.
Jose will be
Politics
once his fighting
eventually.
career's done. Yeah, he'll.
Politics for sure. He's just a natural leader. People want to hear him talk because they want to hear what his thoughts are on it. So.
And I know like things like with the water rights for the local farmers. I didn't even know that was a thing. So you know, the Jose brought. Like, so he's teaching me. He's teaching a lot of people.
Bringing ears.
Well,
of
even
ice
Bob
and
talked
messages.
about it when he was in Fresno 2 years ago, and he nailed it. And he was just
When
going to town on
Bob
Trump.
Came,
He was going to town on Trump.
He's going to town on Devin Nunes. Went back.
And
We were
Dana
back
White.
here last September because of it was 2 months before the election.
Yeah.
So whenever it was election season, he was in. We were in El Paso the week before election day. So he was stumping. He had a Beto hat.
Yeah.
He was on the front page of the El Paso newspaper. Legendary promoter stumps for Beto in Texas. So that was kind of cool.
That was a great soundbite, man. And
Yeah,
he let
Bob
loose.
so Bobby, when he found out, I'm not gonna do the Bob voice on the fighter's voice, but when he found out he was on the paper, he's like, you know, pick me up 20 copies. We pick up the 20 copies, as the papers are still in Bob's office. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
No, that is cool. That is cool. And he doesn't care. He'll say it like he see. When a fight was called off and they were booing, he goes, "What the hell you booing for?
Listen,
we're still gonna fight."
Bob
and he
is-
was just going on like he could say what he wants to say, man. That's Bob Arum. You understand there?
Any gray hair on this beard has come because Bob. You go, what's Bob going to say? He's the best promoter there's ever been, but the same. It's like, what is he going to say? And
He'll come in, right? The press conference already started. He'll come in. Someone from the press asks a fighter a question. He'll just come in here half of it and say, "Wait, hold on a second. Don't answer that. That is a stupid question. Who do you write for?" And he doesn't care. He doesn't hold back. If he doesn't
Nice.
agree with it, no.
Brutal honesty. That's sometimes that's what it takes.
There's only so many people that can get away with it.
It's
And you're gonna
when you have
respect it and
when you have
love it.
53 years of track record, and it's just I don't know. There's something about Bob that he could just he can say something, and
He's got command presence.
he can say something that would get other people in trouble, and it's just he has.
He's
that
the only one that can walk out and you hear like theme music. You know, The Godfather?
Yeah,
Kind of like
okay.
it just pans away when he leaves. It really does, man. It
No,
does.
he's still the
been
hardest worker at Top
Yeah, he
Rank.
is. He is. Legend.
He got back from Japan one time at 5:30 p.m. and was in the office at 9:30 the next morning.
Oh, that's
Meanwhile,
a
I'm rolling
rough
up.
jet
Meanwhile, I'm jet lagged and I'm rolling up at 10:30. I see Bob's car. I'm like, you gotta be. What? I go. I thought I was being a trooper. You know.
What does he drive?
I think a black Mercedes. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a car guy. I don't know what model, but a nice car.
I just had to ask.
Yeah,
You
black
know,
Mercedes,
people want to
yeah.
know.
An SL something. I don't know.
There you
SL
go.
550 maybe. Yeah.
There you go.
Is that a real
there
thing?
you
Is that a
go.
car?
Well, it is now.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
I once drove Bob's car. That was cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did
he's
you have to
like-
move the seat up, back, or how was it? Same size?
No, I moved.
wouldn't
No, but
Okay, when you put it on, when you started it, what came on? Snoop Dogg or what popped on?
Yeah, what was on Arum's radio?
I wanna know
This was like
exactly.
2 years ago. It was probably some Sinatra. Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
okay, there you go.
Probably.
AC/DC, no Sinatra. There you go.
Or AM Talk Radio. Big fan of MSNBC.
Okay, there you
That
are.
makes sense.
There you
Yeah,
are.
That makes
Probably,
sense.
probably the serious MSNBC
Information.
station going
Just
on.
it seems like he would just be a
In his
sponge.
office,
All right.
it's MSNBC usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Political information.
Hey,
always.
man.
Yeah.
I like it.
Keep feeding the mind and keep staying young. This sport of boxing keeps him young,
His-
sharp, and full of tenacity.
Listen, his disdain of Trump is keeping him going.
Oh, exactly.
He's sticking around for the 2020
See, that's the
election.
fight. See, that's the fight. I had to go 2-1 odds. He'd kick Trump's ass. It really would. Inside one round. Because what it was, the fight would go longer because Bob would actually pull the gloves off and just go bare knuckle on him. I can see that happening.
Well, Bob has some history with Trump, which he's explained the Holyfield Foreman fight where
Okay.
he reneged on a deal according to Bob for about $2.5 million. Him and the late Dan Duva, yeah, when they worked on
Okay.
yeah.
So there's a business disliking there for sure.
That's all in
Yeah,
sport, man.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. He has firsthand experience of unkind business dealings with Trump. So he said it multiple times. He did an interview for an oral history of Trump that's coming out next year. So
Okay.
so that'll be
That should be a little.
They specifically
little piece to
requested an
hear.
interview with Bob. It was funny. Sometimes he's hit or miss with doing retrospectives. And he'll turn some stuff down. And when I told him what it was just, I'm doing it. He goes, tell whatever they need. Tell me. When I told him it was a Trump oral history and they wanted to talk about Holyfield, the Holyfield Foreman fight, I
Incident,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah, he was all in. Yeah, anything.
There you go.
Anything to talk about.
He loves a
Trump.
challenge. He loves and you know what he said on an interview? He goes, what did he say? He said, I love issues. He goes, that's why I love Fresno. And he just went on, and he just went deep on it.
He calls it the bread.
He embraced it.
The breadbasket of America, as he calls it. the Central Valley.
Yeah, well, there it is. There,
go.
he's very smart.
Big with the-
He's
yeah.
very smart, and he stood up for the people that are working out in the fields and just laboring. He was hard. I mean, he stood firm on that.
Yeah.
Listen, I like coming to Fresno because the produce is always fantastic. You always have
Fresh,
some guy
man.
come to the
Exactly.
press conference with grapes and
Yeah,
strawberries.
we're like
Dan
raising
Rayfield. We'll
capital
shout out
growth,
the
man.
Dan
What about the
Rayfield still
pistachios?
talks about the grapes.
What about the pistachios?
I haven't had.
gotta
I'll
try-
have to have Central Valley
gotta try some.
pistachios before.
There
I
you
leave.
go.
We are literally like the leading agricultural like producer for so many different things. Like Top Raisins, we're known for the pistachios, all the vegetables, fruits, everything that's coming out of Fresno. Like that's why Ramirez is so heavy on the water.
I've been here
issues.
5 times in 18 months. I'll have to get real estate here soon. I guess.
Now, if you come to Madera, there's a spot in Fastway. They're for nachos, right? Nachos, the best nachos in the world. Fastway nachos in Madera. Not Fat Boy.
Fastway.
Fastway. Fastway. But when we go down there, we're gonna probably have to have Team Flores go with us because it's kind of hoodish, and they got our back. They'll make sure we got our nachos, and they'll make sure that you get your plate. There.
Every time
These
I'm here,
are the best
I
nachos.
go
out there.
Doghouse every time I'm.
Oh, do you?
here. Tri-tip
I'm talking about
sandwich.
real nachos, man.
That's not. I'm just saying the tri-tip.
Tri-tips,
sandwich
the
is
tri-tips bomb.
No, I know. I'm giving them a hard time. But they do. But Madera does have good nachos.
Yeah,
I just had to
no,
throw that.
Fastway's
in.
really
They're
good
not a
nachos.
sponsor of ours, but I just want to let them know.
Well, the next
Maybe
time,
I'm craving nachos.
Richie,
Cole.
next time I'm in town, we'll make it happen.
We'll take a trip down.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, we
got it
appreciate
there.
you coming down tonight, man, and
Absolutely. My
sharing,
pleasure.
let alone the stories, the knowledge that you've been giving us
thank
and
you,
your
guys.
perspective.
I wanted
on
him to
PR,
loosen
man.
up, and he did. I appreciate that.
I try a little bit.
Now, he was still kind of jet lagged when he came in here.
That
Jet,
PR.
jet lag from that hour flight.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit the puddle on the rough entry.
Exactly.
But no, I'm glad you finally made it down. It's an honor to have you, and it really is, man. I mean, people look up to you, not just the name and what you stand for. No, that
now
is
you're
the
just-
truth.
now you're
No,
just-
no,
now
no,
you're
no,
just kissing
no,
up,
no,
Richie.
no.
That's-
No, I have no reason to, because what you see is what you get. Plain and simple, period. I mean, I'm telling you straight up. Even, what's the guy's name? Mike Ruther. He said, dude, he's badass. He told me this about you. I already know. I see him work. I see him all the time.
Listen, I
That
got
ass
a
hasn't
one
good.
fight in my life in 4th grade. Got my nose bloody, so that fighting's not for me, man.
Hey, man, no, serious. I don't have to do that, really, and I choose not
No,
to.
I appreciate it.
No,
Thank
no, I really don't. And I didn't do it, and then we got blessed. I want to thank Rick Meridian again for hooking us up with some tickets. We'll be giving them away on the Fighter's Voice. Damn, another rookie mistake. Look, right at the mark. That's 3 times they're out.
It's
3
all
strikes.
gravy.
It's because Pontra's here. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. As soon as I found I was here, I was like, okay, let me get my notes. I didn't even look at my notes and just relax.
Send him into the zone.
When you got a future Hall of Fame here, stuff
That's
like
what I'm
that
saying,
happens.
yeah, it throws you
does.
off a little.
It does. And then slam dunking the show,
Yeah.
the corn man himself, man, making it happen.
So before we cut you loose, Evan, is there anything you want fans to know about, things to look forward to besides the obvious Saturday night fights that
Well,
you can't see?
if you don't want to spend time with your family this Thanksgiving, come to Las Vegas. We got Oscar Valdez and Carl Frampton at the Cosmopolitan. That's
bad, too.
So yeah, listen, I don't have to get on a plane to go. My family comes to me, so it'll be good. And,
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, $20 gets you in the door at the Cosmo. So
well,
November
there you
30th,
go, guys.
come on down.
Vegas.
There you go.
On, I
Skip
don't know
Thanksgiving.
if, I don't know if people who follow me on Twitter know this. It's on ESPN Plus, which I don't think I've ever promoted ESPN Plus on my Twitter. I'm kidding. It's literally every tweet.
You corrected me before because I put ESPN. You know, Richie, ESPN Plus.
Listen, if you got to come correct with the broadcast.
Hey, man, I did, man. I did. I appreciate it. I stand
so
corrected.
it's the plus, and yeah.
Hey, you learn from mistakes, man.
There
A
you
life
go.
lesson.
So, yeah.
I'm not
I
ashamed.
know you're subscribers, so we're good.
Yes.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming down, man. We appreciate your time, your knowledge, as always, guys. It's great having Top Rank in. It's a pleasure for us and a pleasure for our fans to be able to give them the knowledge and the backstory, the stories, just the stories alone. It's stuff they won't hear just randomly. You're not going to hear that on a random airing or anything. You actually have to know the people that have been there and seen that kind of stuff. So.
Thank you. Anytime you want me back, I'll be back.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, you heard it. You heard it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm giving away tickets. www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Subscribe. I'm going to give away tickets. As always, it's a wrap here, Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.